What's up, everybody? You're very welcome to tonight's stream here on the Anfield Agenda. Of course, I'm your host, Craig, and you are most welcome onto tonight's Between the Lines. There's a few things for us to get through tonight, guys. I thought it was going to be a quiet one, but we've got the Reds going over to France for the pre-season training camp the last week before they come back, play in Dublin, and then they stay in Liverpool, prepare themselves for the start of the season. Obviously, that first home game against West Ham. I cannot wait, guys. I cannot wait. I'm almost counting down the hours at this point. I see people coming into the chat already. Brilliant to see you guys. Welcome. Brandon, Chapo, James, World Class, which I love that name as well, World Class. How could you not love that name? Guys, what do you want to chat about tonight? There's an issue that I want to have a little talk about a bit later on around Fabinho. I say an issue. It's not an issue to do with his play or his injuries or anything like that. It's just a little something that's been bugging me, and I know it's been bugging a few of you guys as well. Sorry for the laughter. I'm just seeing Damo saying, "Hello, Garkness, my old friend." What a way to start tonight, Damo. What a way to start tonight. Ben said, "I think I've just been clickbaited. I'd be here anyway, to be fair." No, there is a little bit of chat now. There is a bit of chat. And there was a question mark, to be fair. Cryptic Gaming's in, Junior's in, Charlie's in. Lots of people in. Great to see you all again tonight. What do you want to talk about, guys? What's the first topic you want us to have a chat about? Will we get straight into the FEKIR stuff? Look, a lot of people are thinking that this is the week, aren't they? A lot of people think that this is the week that the Reds will finally tie up the transfer of Nabil Fekir. It's got to be now or never, guys. It's got to be now or never. This week is pivotal. I mean, it's pivotal to our season, not just from the point of view of will we bring in Fekir. I'm thinking about maybe Pulisic. I'm thinking about somebody. I feel we're just one short. Call me greedy. Call me a greedy bastard. I just think we're one player short of being almost at the pinnacle of where we should be going into the season with regards to players like that. But crazy. It's crazy, guys. I feel like a prick being on here complaining about a transfer window when it's been probably one of the best transfer windows I can remember in my adult life being a Liverpool supporter. We've got in everybody who I've asked for. Well, not because it's nothing to do with me, but you sit down to start pre-season, you make your lists out. Goalkeeper, check. Central defensive mid, check. Option to play up front or out wide, check. Centre back, no, not. But I can understand why no centre back. I can understand why Klopp was thinking, you know what, I'm gonna give Joe Gomez a chance. I'm gonna see if John Matip can improve with fitness. I'll let you guys in on a little secret there. He won't. But I can understand where he's coming from. We've seen that Nathaniel Phillips as well during pre-season, who's been excellent. So I can understand the centre-back thing, but I'd love to know if you guys are with me and just feel that we're just that little bit short up front. Just a little bit short. Whether that be in behind the front three or cover to go out onto the right. And I don't really like saying the word cover here because it's not cover. It's a long season, so I guess it's just a fourth option is pretty much what I'm trying to say. I really don't know what to expect this week. I've been spending the whole day. I'm not gonna lie. I've been spending the whole day looking at every article I can in regards to the situation with the Reds going over to France. Nabil Fekir. Obviously, there was some stuff from RMC today. Some French journalist saying that he thinks it would be best for Nabil Fekir to stay in France. Then you have who's one of the ex-Arsenal players, I think it was, came out and said that it would be great. The Reds should go ahead and sign Fekir. They wouldn't regret it. Don't mind the injury stuff. I don't know what to believe anymore. I just don't know what to believe anymore. I want to think we're going to get somebody in, but I just don't know. I want to think we get somebody in, but I just don't know. Right, I'm just going to read through some of your comments now because I know you guys take the time to write them, and I like to take the time to treat you guys with the respect your comments deserve and read them out. The Junior said, Napoli in Dublin. Mate, we will get to that. Don't you worry about that one. I cannot wait. Could be Alisson Becker's first game in a red shirt. I'm going to be there. Not only that, I got some great news. Some more of my friends, other people that do LFC content, more of them going to be in Dublin. It's going to be great to catch up. What else we got? Let's hope Lallana keeps fit, says Lord of Decay. I think he will. Do you know what? He had a bad year last year. He was a little bit unlucky. He's getting on with age, yes, but Lallana was very, very unlucky last year. And it's almost like a bonus seeing him in pre-season, isn't it? Seeing how quick he can move the ball around. You forget just how deft he can be. A drop of his shoulder, he can do it better than anybody else probably. It's good to have him back, and I'm not going to go as far as Klopp has and said it's like a new signing. I won't go quite that far, but I'm over the moon to have him back fit. I wish we had Ox as well because that fella had some impact when he joined. Lots of love for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I hope he gets back quickly because, he's had a great impact on the fan base and the football team, of course. Jaden said, "Yo, Craig, I'm back. Remember me, Jaden?" I actually do, Jaden, mate. In all honesty, I do. So welcome, buddy. Probably because of the name. Your name, Jaden. It's so unusual to see over here, and I do love the name, buddy. So welcome back. FEKIR following Liverpool restaurant. Somebody else saying it's fake. Patbot said, "Craig, will there be coverage when you go to the Napoli game?" Yes. Yes is the answer to that one. Charlie, who is in the chat here tonight, will be covering. So you're going to get a live stream of the game. Charlie is going to be here in the hot seat, covering it for you guys, talking you through the Liverpool-Napoli game. Myself and Connor, I'm not going to lie, we'll be having a fucking good time. I'm not going to lie. We'll pretend we're doing a little bit of work. Yeah, we'll get a few bits and pieces done, but we're going to enjoy it. Because it's not very often the Reds come to Dublin. So why not? Myself and Connor are going to enjoy it. We're going to meet up with some more friends there. Other LFC content providers and just people who are just going to the game. So really looking forward to it. But we're not going to leave you stranded. There will be somebody here. Charlie's going to be in the hot seat. And I've no doubt he'll do a cracking job. We need a central attacking midfielder. I actually read that where a class is saying we need a cam. And I was thinking, does he think we can put everybody on the other end of the screen here on cameras and we can all just have a chat? That's how dense I am, buddy. So apologies. But we do need somebody. And whether that's a FEKIR, whether that's a Pulisic, and look, I know Pulisic is a wider player, wider forward, I get that. Mane can drop back, we've seen that in pre-season. He can drop into that role if needs be, but that still doesn't stop us needing somebody else up there to cover him, so I completely get where you're coming from. Smitten says, "Hello everybody." Charlie says, "FEKIR playing behind the front three, fucking unbelievable. I think if we don't get him, Klopp will play Shaqiri behind them like he did against United." I mean, it's a good decision, to be honest. It is, but again, it's a long season, so even allowing for the fact that we have Shaqiri there and allowing for the fact that he might play in behind the front three, you're still going to need more cover, aren't we? It's a long season, 4 competitions. Jimmy is in, said, "Good evening, how are things, mate?" Doing excellently, thank you, Jimmy, excellently. A little bit tired, but look, it's been a long week, but well, look, it's only the start of another one, isn't it? But you know what, I'm always happy to be here with you guys talking about the Reds. Connor's off, by the way. We probably won't see Connor for maybe Friday or Saturday. He's gone away for a little break with the family, well deserved, and I hope he has a great time, but he'll be back on Friday or Saturday. Jaden said, "Craig, who is our best ever player?" It's hard to say best ever. I mean, it has to be Dalglish, probably, followed by Stevie G. Maybe followed by Graham Souness. Souness was a little bit before my time, but I have seen enough of him to know how good he was. But yeah, Dalglish, Gerrard. I mean, flip a coin for me with those two. But my favourite player of all time is Robbie Fowler, hands down. Absolutely love God. Massive fan of Robbie Fowler. Brandon said, "Hope I meet at the game on Saturday." Mate, do. We're going to try and arrange somewhere where we can all meet. So if anybody has any suggestions, I know, for instance, the media section that we have to go in through is the Lansdowne Road train station side of the stadium. So probably somewhere along there is a good idea if anybody wants to meet up. But yes, absolutely. The more the merrier. We hope we can get a lovely big group picture, have a chat with you guys and get to meet as many Reds as possible, because that's what today is all about. Saturday for us is going to be just fun. That's the only way I can describe it. We're going to get to go. We're going to meet all you amazing people. We're going to get to shake your hand, say thank you for all the support you've given us as well. But most importantly, we're there to enjoy the Reds. We're there to see Alison Becker's first game. We're there to see Kloppo and the boys. We're going to get a little bit from the press conference as well. I'm hoping I'll have the audio from the press conference for you guys. We should be able to record the audio now. We won't be able to record video of the press conference, but it'll be interesting to see if Kloppo has anything to say, and also Carlo Ancelotti as well. It'll be interesting to hear his thoughts on Napoli's season ahead. Charlie saying, "I'm nervous. I got a lot to live up to after Craig." Mate, you'll be grand. You'll be absolutely grand. And I'll let you in on a secret, Charlie, buddy. I haven't got a fucking clue what I was doing for the watch-alongs either. I mean, I've only done 2, I think, at this point, and it's fun. You'll enjoy it. William 1666, how are you doing, my man? Very well, thank you, buddy, and I hope you're the same. Dave Trainer said, "What pub are you going to?" My brother's coming up from Cork also. I won't be going to any pubs, mate. I wish I had the time. For me, it's going to be all about getting content before the game. So I'll be outside filming. I'll be bringing my mobile microphone and stuff with me. So I'll be trying to catch a few interviews with a few fans going in. Myself and Connor might have a few words on camera. I've got a few things I've promised to do for other people as well. So I won't be getting a chance to go to any pub, unfortunately, mate. It'll all be work, work, work until the game kicks off, and then I'm going to just relax. Hopefully I'll be able to do a little stream at half time and possibly a little stream at the end of the game for a few minutes. But other than that, it's going to be just work and getting to meet as many people as possible. The only reason I'm going there early is to try and meet you guys, to try and meet fellow Reds and put a face to the names, because it's always great to chat to you in here, but nothing beats shaking your hand and saying hello in person. Can't wait for Allison, says Cryptic Gaming, mate. I'm with you. Here's your fucking brother. I cannot wait for Alisson Becker to make his debut. Vinnie Johnson is in, says hello to all the Reds. World Class has to go. Welcome, mate. Thanks for joining in anyway. I'm sure we'll catch up soon. Jaden said, Craig, you're the best YouTube player. Keep the content up. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. That's so kind of you to say. And it does mean a lot. It sincerely does. The World Class wants a few goodbyes in the chat, so I'm sure you people can say goodnight to him. Sturridge at central attacking midfield, says Jack. Do you know, it would be very easy, Jack, to laugh that off and say, no, you're mad. But I think that highly of Daniel Sturridge, that I think he can play anywhere that involves any type of forward play. So it wouldn't be my first choice. I'd much rather have Mane in behind there than Danny Sturridge, because, you know, you want Danny Sturridge in front of goal, but Danny Sturridge has the quality to play a through ball. Danny Sturridge has the footballing brain to be able to play there. But personally, Jack, it wouldn't be my first choice, mate, if I'm being honest, and I do try to be honest on here, but I can understand your thought process. Luis Suarez is LFC _5 favourite player. Ryan Murphy's gone with Ian Rush again. 2 quality players, Rushy and Suarez. God, I did love Suarez at Liverpool, man. I really did. David Gibbs says, Craig, I tell you, Liverpool will get Nabil Fekir. Do you know what? I hope you're right, David, mate. I hope you're right, because if we get that done, if we got Nabil Fekir over the line, nobody will have touched us with the transfer window we've had. And I don't mean nobody will touch us as in we'll walk the league or anything like that. I'm not that pig-headed to think along those lines, but look at other clubs in the Premier League. Nobody is doing anything of any relevance whatsoever. Manchester City brought in one good player, and look, Riyad Mahrez is a good player, there's no denying that. Arsenal have brought in a load of so-whats, as I like to call them. I just look at them and go, United have brought in Fred, but I honestly, hand on heart, United look like a team that are fucked at this minute in time. Chelsea are scrambling. They're trying to keep hold of players. They're trying to bring a few in. They've a new manager there. They've an owner that doesn't know what the fuck he wants to do. Who else have we got? Spurs are, well, they've kept all their players, so that is one thing, but with the new stadium and stuff, it seems to be a little bit tight for them financially, so they haven't been in the market just yet. And what have we got now? 11 days to go in the market. You know, people have to start spending money. Clubs have to do something, or I'm going to get cockier and cockier as this window goes along. Sean said, hey Craig, just tuning in, you'll never walk alone. Thank you, Sean, mate, you're most welcome, and thanks for joining the stream. World Class said his dad's favourite player is Fowler. Your dad has great taste, buddy, because Fowler was an absolutely stunning footballer for Liverpool. I mean, just Google, I'm sure you've seen it before, but just Google his goal against United where he lobbed Schmeichel, or his 3 minutes and 40 seconds, I think it was, hat-trick against Arsenal. So much to talk about. Cryptic Gaming says Fowler or Owen for him. Brandon says, please organise, I want to meet you, mate. I promise you. Give me a couple of days so it gets a little bit closer and I talk to Connor and we try and arrange some times. I don't know if you guys know our good friend Anything Liverpool. I'm sure many of you guys on Twitter know Anything Liverpool. It's one of the biggest Liverpool Twitter accounts there. Well, I was in contact with the guy that runs that. A lovely guy. I don't want to give out his name on here because it's not my place to do so, but we're going to be meeting him at the game as well. We've got a little bit of history in that we met each other a few times. He's an absolute gent. I'm really looking forward to meeting him as well. And there's a few other people who who put the hard yards in, make the content, and we're lucky enough to get a few passes. So it's going to be a good afternoon. There's going to be a lot of handshaking, and Connor gets to meet James Pearce, which is You know, like Christmas for Connor. That's gonna be like Connor meeting Santa Claus. Okay, I'm trying to get back to more comments because I know sometimes people accuse me of skipping through them, so I'm gonna get back. Aaron said Craig FEKIR is following a load of Liverpool restaurants on Instagram. Is that true, or did somebody say that was false, by the way? I'm not 100% sure if that's true or not. Fatal Frags is saying that we're 9 days. So only 9 days left in the window. Clubs will want to get their finger out of their ass. Right said Fred, United brought in, said Dave. Click and Go said City spent 300 million last year, and that's a fair point. They did. I mean, they were throwing around 50 million quid for every fullback they wanted to get their hands on. So yeah, it's our turn now. Klopp seemed to front load when he came in. He brought in the attacking players that he wanted, and now he seems to be working his way backwards to an extent, isn't he? He brought in Virgil van Dijk, which, none of us can complain about. Having big Virg at the club is a blessing. We brought in a fantastic goalkeeper. I'm not going to go as far as to say one of the best in the world because it's far too early to judge, but a very good goalkeeper. We brought in one of the best defensive midfielders in Europe, in Fabinho, and people might think he hasn't had the greatest of starts, but I keep saying it. A good game for a central defensive midfielder is when you don't know he's there, when you don't say anything about him, when you don't see him in the game. Then, to me, he had a good game because he hasn't had to make last-ditch tackles. He hasn't had to do anything dramatic. He's read the game well. He's intercepted when he needs to. And yeah, I think it's all positive. All positive stuff going forward. Ferno said, I see United fans saying that Fred is better than Keita. That's just, like, rivalry aside, that's just a disgrace. If Naby Keita had signed for any other club in the Premier League, I shit you not, I would be extremely worried. Like, if Manchester City had signed Naby Keita, Spurs had signed Naby Keita, I'd be very worried about Liverpool's position going into this season. That's how highly I rate Naby Keita. So, for a Manchester United fan, even the most pig-ignorant, stupid Manchester United fan, to say that Fred is better than Keita is just either blind optimism or just outright stupidity. I reckon a lot of transfers will happen on deadline day and that most, if not all, will be panic buys, says Cobra 1977. Something has to happen. I mean, I wonder if clubs are just, well, no, look, they're not, they're professional football clubs, but it looks as if many people are getting caught out by this new window. It's okay for clubs in Spain and Italy and stuff because they can go to the end of August, but for Premier League clubs, the clock is ticking and nobody is doing anything of significance. I mean, to be fair, Everton are going around and throwing 50 million quid on anybody who wants to come and play for the club. Still can't get over 50 million quid for Richarlison. Oh God, Everton, you're the Gark Mulbridge of football clubs, without a shadow of a doubt, they have. Alou said, late, but I'm here now, Craig. You're a top host. Thank you, Alou, mate. And I do always see you on the chat, buddy, so welcome. And I hope your Monday was good. Man like Ben said, Gerrard is my favourite ever player, but Torres isn't far behind. I'll never forget Torres' introduction against Chelsea. From that moment on, the Premier League were terrified of Fernando Torres because he absolutely skinned the Chelsea defence down the outside, opened up his body and just blasted it into the net, and it was a tremendous introduction to Liverpool Football Club. Kieran said Owen can fuck off. I'm kind of with you there, mate. I didn't want to say it when somebody said he was their favourite player because, again, I tried to be respectful towards everybody, but yeah, personally for me as well, that's pretty much where I am with Owen. Smitten said Suarez. I said to you guys before, I have a couple of signed Suarez shirts up on my attic and they're never going anywhere. I absolutely adore Luis Suarez. I don't care all the bad things he's doing. I don't give a shit. I just love his attitude on a football field. I love his win at all costs mentality. I love that if he's 5-0 up or 5-0 down, he still plays the same way. Yeah, absolutely love him. LFC_5 said United are going to shit bricks when they face our first squad. They can't even win in their city. Absolute dog shit of a team. No need to worry about them. I had a great conversation today from the Anfield Agenda Twitter account with a United fan who, he was another one of these people that think football only existed since 1992 and that Liverpool have never won anything. And he was celebrating the fact that last year they finished ahead of us in the league. So he'd spent 10-15 minutes maybe slagging off Liverpool not having won anything last year. and then went on to think that because United finished ahead of Liverpool in the league, that they'd won some kind of trophy. I fucking give up. I mean, if that's how far they've fallen, then do you know what? Leave them to it. Cryptic Gaming says, Mohamed Salah, a gift from Allah. He came to Roma. He came from Roma to Liverpool. He's always scoring. It's almost boring. Please don't take Mohamed away. I know the tune that you're going for with that one, but you don't want to hear me singing it, buddy. Politico Now says, what is the news on FEKIR? Waiting to hear, like you guys. Is it going to happen this week? We've heard contradicting things. We keep going away from FEKIR, but fuck it, let's bring the chat back to Nabil FEKIR. The Reds are in France. They're in Evian now. They've gone over for the last, I suppose, part of the pre-season tour. It's more, not really a tour as such, it's just a training camp. Interesting that Trent, by the way, is going to join up with the guys tomorrow. He's coming back from his holidays, I think a little bit early. I think he's only had 17 days off. And Trent is going to meet up with the guys. I think he gets back tomorrow morning and then he's gone straight over to France. Mignolet, by the way, isn't there, which is fucking brilliant news as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, look, to get back to Nabil FEKIR, the Reds are in France now. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen this week. There's no surer thing than that. If we don't hear anything come out over the next couple of days, let's give it till Thursday or Friday, I don't think we're going to hear anything on this one. It's now or never. It has to be. Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like we're that close from being right there, serious contenders. Look, we are contenders at this moment in time. Don't get me wrong, but that little bit of quality, that little extra bit to give us that bit of backup, and I think we are in as good a position as anybody in that Premier League or in Europe to challenge for major competitions. I just don't want to feel like we were close, but we didn't quite make that push, because we've always spoke about being a couple of pieces of the jigsaw away. Usually it's a fair few pieces, if I'm being honest, 3 or 4 pieces, but right now we're down to 1, maybe 2 if you're looking at a centre back. Pieces away from being genuine up there with the very best in Europe, and I'm not just talking about the Premier League, in Europe. Look, we've seen last year we can handle anybody on our day, especially at home in Europe. So, you know, if we get the rub of the green, we don't get injuries, then yes, absolutely. We were very lucky last year that we had very few injuries to that front 3. Like, if you can imagine that we lost Firmino, say, for 8 to 10 weeks, we would have been up shit creek. We really would. Imagine the drop off there if we were playing Dominic Solanke or Danny Ings instead of Roberto Firmino for 8 to 10 weeks. I mean, we were lucky last year to an extent. Obviously, we were unlucky with Lallana, we were unlucky with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, but they were in positions that we had a bit of cover for. I really feel we're just short in that front 3, or that central attacking midfield role, as some other people have pointed out. Tanner said I'd pick FEKIR over Pulisic. And again, a conversation I've had with you guys on here a few times. Long term, I'd prefer Pulisic. But for the right here and now, yes, I can understand why Nabil FEKIR would be a better selection for Liverpool at this moment in time, because he's what we need right now. Cryptic Gaming said, no more taking out Salah, Keita will destroy them. Do you think Liverpool will buy anyone, and if so, when? Says Nathman. I've just said pretty much, buddy, I think we're going to get something done before this window closes from an attacking sense. Not sure if it's going to be a forward 3 player or if it's going to be an attacking midfielder, but I think we're going to get something done. I do. I think Klopp made it clear he wanted to strengthen that position when he went in for FEKIR. So it's obvious that he thinks that's an area of the pitch we need to strengthen. Now, if he walked away because of the injury, that's fair enough. If it's a negotiating tactic, that's fair enough. But you don't want to strengthen that position and then suddenly just walk away and think, oh, do you know what, it's sorted. And I don't buy the whole Sheridan Shaqiri being the player that he brought in instead. That to me was always happening, and that was a bonus. That was a signing that they looked at and thought, 13.5 million quid, no brainer, let's get it done, let's see how he gets on. And his attitude looks great. He looks like he could be a great addition to the team, but he's not Nabil FEKIR, he's not Christian Pulisic, and he's not that little extra bit of spark that I think we're going to need, although he's a very, very good signing. Fatal Frag said, Craig, what's your top 6 predictions so far? If you want them in order, Hand on heart, it kills me to say this, but Manchester City, Liverpool, Spurs, United, Chelsea, Arsenal. Although Arsenal, Chelsea, that can swap either or. But for me, that's it. And I think we will close the gap on Manchester City as things stand. But I think we may just come up short again. And I think what might kill us is later on in the season when we're going far in other competitions and we lack that depth up front. I'm just petrified of our lack of options up front. It's great that we have Danny Sturridge, and I can understand people happy that he's held up over pre-season, but let's be honest, he probably isn't going to hold up throughout the entire season. And look, I'm just being a bit negative here. I understand, guys, I'm being a bit negative, but we want to challenge. We want to get there, and when you know how close we are, that's just, you just want the best for the club. But don't get me wrong, as I've said time and time again, this has been a tremendous window. The club have done absolutely brilliant business. Michael Edwards, the whole recruitment team, the owners, Jurgen Klopp, all the scouts have done a tremendous job and brought in absolutely quality footballers. There's not one signing this summer I've looked at and gone, why the fuck are we signing him? And there's been very few signings that I've seen people question as well. Look, you were going to get some questions around FEKIR. That's just natural because of his past and the fact that he didn't quite get where he wanted to do at Bayern Munich. It didn't work out with Inter Milan, and he was a Stoke player. So I can understand people having reservations there, but I think the fee put pay to a lot of those worries. So other than that, I can't think of anyone who's unhappy with a single signing. Mike said, the window closes in 9 days, but we can still sell players to the other countries after it closes. Yes, that's spot on, buddy. Once the window's open for somebody else, anywhere in the world, wherever it is, then yes, you can sell players to that club in that transfer window. Which is, it's a shame. I can understand why Premier League clubs did what they did, and I agree with it, because once the season starts, you shouldn't be able to chop and change players. Technically, a player could play against one club 3 times in a season. And I mean in the league. Of course it can happen in cup competitions, but the way they've done it now, that can't happen. It's a shame that it's not Europe-wide, that we don't see all the clubs in Europe. And I know some of the clubs, the league starts a week later. I think Germany, Italy and possibly Spain start a week after the Premier League. So you might have difficulties there, but you hope that it gets sorted out and it's something that UEFA look at and say, we need this to have a level playing field right across. And the Premier League clubs have made a good first step, if I'm being honest, and fair play to them, because it's a ballsy move, because as you pointed out there, they are still prey to other clubs who want to come in and buy their players after the window is closed, even if it's just to unsettle those players. Evan said, Craig, I sent you an email only moments ago discussing Pulisic and what my strong beliefs are relating to Dortmund's strategy. Have a read some other time. I think my thought process might interest you. Thank you, Evan. I most certainly will have a read of that later on, buddy, after the stream, and I will of course respond. So thank you for that, Evan. I look forward to reading it. Dave said, sorry to say, City, LFC, United, Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal in that order for him. Cobra said, I hope we don't screw up against West Ham. Trust our luck, we'll end up getting the draw or worse. Don't think of that, buddy. Think positive. We're going to go in there and we're going to fucking whoop their ass. They have a lot of new players to blood in as well. They have a new manager there. It's going to take them time. One thing we have with our team at this moment in time is continuity, a style of play. Everybody knows their job, so let's be positive. We're going to go in there, we're going to whoop West Ham 4-0, and we're going to march on to the next game. Are Lyon in the Champions League? Yes, they are. Craig, we don't need a centre back, said Kaiser HC. I would beg to differ, buddy, but of course I respect your opinion. Yeah, I just don't think we need somebody to replace Joe Matip for me. I just don't think we can get a season out of him ever. And I'd like us to always have 3 options for those 2 positions and somebody like Joe Gomez as a backup on top of that. Smitten said, look lads, FEKIR failed his medical, end of story. I don't get why people are still going on about it. There's no proof that he failed the medical. That's the thing. He didn't fail the medical. There was a difference of opinion over the knee and how long it will last. He obviously didn't fail a medical because he's physically playing football. He's playing for France, and he played for France in the World Cup. He's physically fit to play football. The medical was a matter of opinion, not a matter of fact. So people look at, say, if somebody has a heart issue, it jumps up and you go, well, look, this dude has a heart issue. He could have a heart attack at any time, or he could go into cardiac arrest at any time, or his valves could close down at any time, or he could develop an irregular heartbeat, or anything along those lines. But this was just a matter of opinion, because the ACL has been fixed. The job was done. I know there's two different ways the ACL was fixed, and apparently this is the shorter term solution. But I don't think he did fail the medical. That's the whole thing here. That's why I think people are unsure. I think some people think that the club are using this to restructure the payments or to lower the figure that Leon are looking for. If it was definitely because of a failed medical, personally, I think the club may have let it be known to the journalists on the local patch that, look, this definitely isn't happening. And that hasn't been the case. So that's just my opinion, Smitten, mate, and I can understand where you're coming from, but I don't think we did. He did fail the medical, personally. MU 2003 says, how do you edit the screen? Great stream. It's all done in OBS, to be honest, and Connor is the brains behind it. So I honestly couldn't tell you, but it's done in OBS, Open Broadcasting Software, I think it's called. So Shaqiri is good, just shut up already. How about go fuck yourself? Does that work for you? If you're going to come on and tell me to shut up, then I'm going to go and tell you to go fuck yourself. So, adios, dickhead. Crosby Red said, sorry to say you're wrong, Dave. LFC, City, Spurs, Chelsea in that order. Mick O'Callaghan says, how to become a mod. We go through mod spurts on here, Miko. Sometimes we just lash out spanners like they're going out of fashion. Blue Spanner FC, Connor likes to call us. Stephen said, if you like what you're watching, like, share, subscribe, and possibly become a patron like me if you can. So yeah, on that note, Stephen has put it there in the chat. If you are watching and you do like the content, then please do take a moment to hit that subscribe button and become part of the family. Help us grow the channel. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you're watching. No doubt we'll have the thumbs down merchant. They're always floating around, and you guys know what I say to them. I don't even have to say it anymore. But yeah, as Stephen said, if you do want to help out the channel, if you want to help us grow, push us on to the next level, you can of course do so at patreon.com/Anfield Agenda. And you know what? I'm actually prepared. I'm going to put that in the chat here for you now. So bear with me 2 seconds. Look, there you go. It's in the chat. So yeah, if anybody does want to help us out, all the details are there in the chat, and they're also in the stream notes. And on top of that, again, before I push on, don't forget to enter our competition. We're giving away 5 LFC home shirts in association with our friends at soccerlord.se. All the details are in the stream notes, or you can jump over to the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. Check out our pinned tweet. It's at Anfield Agenda. The pinned tweet on there gives you all the details. Retweet that pinned tweet, follow the account, and you automatically go into a draw to win 2 of those 5 shirts. Louis said, do you think the rumours of Pulisic are similar to the Cillessen rumours? When we were trying to lower Alisson's price and Roma, do you think that that's what Liverpool are trying to do with FEKIR? No. I honestly don't, because there's been a long-term courtship between Liverpool and Christian Pulisic. What I think may have happened is clubs like Real Madrid, possibly Bayern Munich, are aware that there's now a figure that could buy Christian Pulisic, and that figure seems to be somewhere around €70 million. He's got 2 years left on his Dortmund contract. He's made it clear to them he's not going to re-sign. So Dortmund have 2 options. They sell him this window and they reinvest the money, or they hang on to him for 1 more season. They sell him next year for possibly a bit less, but they still get a nice hefty sum from him. And it seems that they've decided that, you know what, if we can get the 70 million we're after, then this may be the summer we sell him. I think that could have pushed Liverpool's hand forward a year, because I think maybe they were looking at next year. So I don't think it's a con from Liverpool. I don't think they're kind of giving a nod and a wink to Outlast. I just think it's probably a year earlier than they thought, and I think they might have been caught on their heels a little bit. So I don't know if we can genuinely get things done that quickly for Christian Pulisic. So I wait and see. Like all of you guys, I hope so, but I don't know. I do think we will get something done. I said it time and time again. I definitely think we'll get something over the line in the next week, and that's not based on anything at all. I've no inside information. Just a fan like you guys hoping for the best. Blackwell Gaming, I've just given the update on FEKIR and Pulisic, buddy. I've said if it's going to happen, it's going to happen this week. We're just going to have to wait and see and hope that the club can get it done. But I don't think, like Smitten, that the medical was failed. And I see Smitten has commented, so I'll go back and read her comment, or his comment, excuse me. Maybe I worded that wrong. What I meant to something like something's defo come up to make us not sign him. If we were going to do it, we would have done it by now. Again, slightly disagree. He was on holidays, so he had the World Cup with France, got to the final and won it. After that, then he has to have holidays, whether it be 2 or 3 weeks. So technically, he's still on holidays. So even if Liverpool did get the deal done, agreed, and signed him, he still wouldn't be here. We still wouldn't be seeing him for another few days yet. So there's still time for Liverpool to get all that done, and he'd still only be coming back at the same time anyway. That's why I'm saying I think the next few days are going to be pivotal in this deal, because he'd be due to return to Lyon at that point, and I don't think he wants to return to Lyon. I don't think he wants to show up to Lyon training. So that's kind of where I am on it anyway, but I'd love to know where you guys are and what you guys are thinking is going to happen. And obviously Smitten has let me know that he or she, I actually don't know if you're male or female, mate, not that matters, but Smitten, I get where you're coming from. I just have a little bit of a different thought process, but of course I respect your opinion. Flatman said, now that Newcastle sold their striker, do you think Ings or Origi could be considered by them now? They were looking at signing the guy from West Brom, weren't they? What's that guy's name? Rondon, Solomon Rondon, and I think I heard something like 16 or 17 million. Flatman, which I thought Rafa Benitez would know better than that. Solomon Rondon's absolute horseshit. So I was baffled when I heard. Look, it was no shock that they sold Mitrovic, because Mitrovic wanted to go to Fulham. He was there last season on loan. They got a good whack from him as well, 22 million quid. But to go and look to spend 16 or 17 million on Solomon Rondon, I couldn't believe that when I heard that. So, like you've suggested there, I think money on Danny Ings would be much better invested. Even Divock Origi would be a much better investment for Newcastle than going and signing Solomon Rondon. He's just not a good player at all. Thomas Wirich said, we should have signed him when he had the medical, although he had a knee injury. How many games has he missed last season? My honest answer is I don't know. But what I do remember, Thomas, is them saying something along the lines of he has a special training program that means that every 3 months he has to have somewhat of a break. And I don't know if that means from training or playing, or they have to wind down the intensity of what he does. I just remember something about after every 3 months they have to do something for him to help him kind of get a bit of rest on his knee. Have City signed any centre-backs? Definitely could improve there. They signed Laporte at the end there, or in January, which was a massive signing, to be fair. He's an excellent footballer. On top of that, no, not that I'm aware of. No, I don't think so. But they did sign Laporte, who was a very, very good footballer. Louis said we should sign Grimaldo from Benfica or Alex Telles as a backup for Andrew Robertson, because Alberto Moreno isn't good enough defensively, but he's better at attacking. I suppose, Louis, we could possibly use Kleiny as a left back if needed. You've also got Jimmy Milner there. And look, I know James Milner had a fantastic season in midfield last year. He was brilliant for Liverpool when called upon. I just think that now, maybe that was an Indian summer, if you get where I'm coming from, and now he might be more of a utility player. He might get some games in midfield, but with Fabinho and Naby Keita coming in, that may be limited. So he'll look at where he can get games, and left back as cover to Andrew Robertson might be an area where he can be used. Obviously, I said Kleiny as well can push across and play there. So, again, I don't think we're going to sign a left back. I just don't think it's anywhere near the top of Klopp's list. But Moreno does only have 1 year left on his deal, by the way, so be interesting to see if anyone comes in for him. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate the young American? Said Joel Thornton. If we're talking about Christian Pulisic, at this moment in time, my honest answer would be 7, but I think he can get to a 9. I just think he's only, 19 years of age, Joel, so I think he's got a really high ceiling. A much higher ceiling than Nabil Fekir, if I'm being honest, in my view. But at the moment, I'd only class him as a 7. I think that's why he's only possibly €70 million instead of 80, 90, €100 million. Louis said, we also apparently made a bid for Pulisic in 2016. We certainly did look to bring him in one of the January windows, if memory serves me correct. Was it 17 or 16 or 17? I don't know, but yes, we were definitely linked with Pulisic previously. We definitely inquired after him. Quino said Shaqiri's goal was mad. It was fucking nuts, mate. It really was one of those wow moments. What an introduction. What a way to introduce yourself to the Liverpool fans. Ronaldo or Messi? Ronaldo or Messi? Messi. I've said the time again. Messi. 100% Messi. Every time Messi. I think Ronaldo puts in more work to get where he is, but I think Messi's the more talented footballer. So for me, Marie, I'd say Messi every day of the week. But if he put in the work that Cristiano Ronaldo puts in, and look, I don't know what Messi does, but I do know how much work Ronaldo put in to hone and perfect his talent. And I just don't think that Messi puts in the same work, but then again, I don't think he has to, because I think Messi's the more naturally gifted footballer. But let me know, Marie, who do you like? Marie said St Patrick's Athletic are better than Liverpool. Agree. No, I'm a Shells person, so no. Shells would be my club, so I definitely wouldn't agree with you there. City have only signed Mahrez, says Kieran. Joseph said Fulham are getting the Swansea centre-back Mawson, who's a good centre-back. I did see that he was having a medical, or there was a fee agreed, alright, just before I came on. Cryptic Heyman says, are Wolves in the Premier League? Yes, mate, they most certainly are. And they're going to be a force in the Premier League over the next few years. I don't mean at the very top, but I don't see them being anywhere near relegation anytime soon. Not with the money that's behind them and the players they're after bringing in. I mean, they've got Ruben Neves. They brought in the goalkeeper as well from Sporting Lisbon, whose name is gone out of my head at this moment in time. Didn't they bring in... Who else have they brought in? Wolves have brought in a few players. And they have Connor Cody, the ex-Liverpool player, as their captain, which is brilliant as well. Orchestral manoeuvres in the Gark from Steve. That is an absolute belter, Steve. I don't know how many people would get that reference, but I definitely get it. And well done, sir. Coutinho is just a memory. Keita is the future, says Pepper Red. He certainly is, and he is going to whoop some ass in the Premier League this year. Cannot wait for it. Cobra said promoted sides were Cardiff, Fulham and Wolves. Spot on. Fulham obviously came up to the playoffs. Fulham are good, says Miko Callanan. And they're making some really good signings, aren't they? Who's that guy that they got that everybody was after? And people still can't believe that they signed him. The guy is he from France? Who the fuck? I can't remember his name now. But yeah, they have some great players. I mean, Mitrovic was brilliant for them last year in the Championship. Obviously, they've got young Sessegnon, who was class. They've got their young captain as well in central mid. I think I have him in my foot. Is it Carney as well? Yeah, I think his name's Carney. He's quite a decent footballer. Who else? Who is that guy that they signed? They signed somebody who people couldn't believe that he signed. I'm going to have a look at my fantasy team because I'm sure I have him in my fantasy team. So bear with me 1 second. Yeah, Seri. That's who it was. Yeah, they signed Seri as well, who was an amazing piece of business. El Chapo said, "Isn't United in a bad state of affairs?" Not our place to say, mate. Not our place to say. How do I enter the giveaway? Says MC Scads. Well, the stream notes of this stream or any of our recent streams, check them in there. There's a link in there to the competition. But if you go onto our Twitter page, I'm not sure if you're a Twitter user. If you are, Anfield Agenda, go on there at Anfield Agenda on the Twitter page. We have a tweet pinned to the top of our account. On that tweet, it tells you everything you need to know, but it gives you a link to click on to enter the competition. So I hope that one's helped you out, but do let me know if you're still having trouble. Transfer Zone said, "It's not about how many games FEKIR played last year, but about a future injury which could lead to a decline." That's a really good point. And also, we spoke about yesterday on the stream, it's about, as you said, not just a future injury, but how long before he may have to have that ACL rebuilt again. I think somebody explained yesterday, and I cannot for the life of me remember who it was, but somebody explained that he had the repair of the ACL that had a shorter recovery time but a shorter shelf life, if that makes sense. And there was another option that would last them a couple of years longer maybe, or even more than a couple of years longer, but his recovery time would have been twice as long. So like some football clubs, maybe a short-term view was taken on him on his ACL, and I think that may be what has caused the uproar or the doubt in Liverpool's mind. Evan said, "Craig, if Benitez got 22 goals out of Ryan Babel over 4 seasons, you could effectively get something similar out of Rondon, 28 goals over 3 seasons. I do agree that it will be a slow burn. I just think for the money that he has, and Danny Ings, much better footballer for me than Solomon Rondon. That's just my opinion, Evan. But look, as you said, Rafa knows what he's doing. Rafa's a top manager. I don't want to see Newcastle go down. That's my worry, because I love the fans. I love their club. I love everything about Newcastle. I love the dedication of their fans. I love how mad they are. And obviously I love Rafa. So I want the best for Newcastle as well, because you want Rafa to succeed. Well, obviously second best. I want them below us, but don't want them anywhere near the relegation." Jared Dillon Sylvester says, "Pulisic or FEKIR?" I explained it earlier on. My thoughts on this were that FEKIR is probably what we need now, but Pulisic for me long term would be a better piece of business. But right now, at this moment in time, if I had to go and sign one to improve us now, it would be FEKIR, and it really hurts me to say that because I'm a massive fan of Christian Pulisic. Wrigley Mick said, "We also have Fabinho, who can fill in a full back and centre back as he did at Monaco, Craig," which is a really good point, Wrigley Mick, mate. Thank you. And that brings me to a point I wanted to talk about. I was reading an article in the Echo earlier on about squad numbers, and of course Fabinho came up. And we all know that he likes the number 2, and that the number 2 currently is being held by Nathaniel Klein, who doesn't look like he's going anywhere, so probably won't be giving up that number anytime soon. So as you guys know, if you go onto the Liverpool website, you can buy shirts with players' names in the back. And you can buy a Fabinho shirt. You just can't get a fucking number on it. Well, you can put a number you want on it, but you can't get a squad number listed. So the Echo were having a think, and they looked at similar instances before where players, for instance, I think the example they gave was when Ronaldo signed for Inter Milan. The striker that was there at the time loved the number 9. And Ronaldo obviously came in, and I mean, I don't like to use the phrase fat Ronaldo, but you know the one I'm talking about, Brazilian Ronaldo. He obviously took number 9. So the striker there went with 1 plus 8 to make up his 9. So the Echo were having a little chat, and in their article they said that maybe Fabinho was waiting for Mignolet to move on, because Mignolet's got the number 22. So maybe that's what he's waiting for. But yeah, it will be interesting to see. He's been wearing number 3 in pre-season, as we know, but still no confirmation on exactly what number we're going to get for Fabinho. So what do you think? Will he go with 3? Will he wait for Miggs and get 22? Or do you think there's any chance that he's going to get that number 2 off Kleiny? And also the goalkeeper situation. Do you think Alisson's going to get number 1? Or do you think Karius is going to fight and keep that jersey? And I don't mean from a positional sense. I mean literally the number on the back of his shirt. Stephen Hackett said, "We don't need any more players." Kaiser said Milner at left back is not a threat at all. He did a good job, to be fair, Kaiser, mate, when he had to play there. It was frustrating at times to see him cutting back onto his right foot, but I mean, I think he did a good job when asked to play there. Cobra said, FSG, get out alone, buy them both, and then use Pulisic's marketing to pay back the fee. Job done. I mean, what more do you want, Cobra? You've nailed it there, buddy. Sorry, skip through a few there. I want to go back to the chat just to make sure I didn't miss anything. FIFA Mobile UK says Bateson 87. Did you come up with that all by yourself? I tell you what, you go and tell Mammy to give you a special hug because you're a very, very good little boy. So, good man. Good man. Now I'm going to have to say goodnight to you, buddy. Bye-bye. Go to Mammy. Garrick is in. Good evening, Garrick. Great to have you as always, mate. Paul said, just heard Salah hasn't travelled with the team to France and news to break later regarding this. Is that true? I'm sure. Didn't I see pictures of him travelling? Does anybody know why he didn't travel? And apologies, I'm looking away. I'm looking at my phone here trying to sort this out. Did he not travel? Surely he travelled. Bear with me, I'm just going to have a look at the Liverpool website and see if there's anything on this one. That said, he's named in the squad anyway, isn't he? Yeah, he's named in the squad. The Reds are arriving, so let's have a look through the photos and see if we can see him. Karius, Genie, Solanke, Van Dijk, Keita, Mane, Moreno, Kloppo. Yeah, can't see him in a picture, to be fair. I'm going through the gallery right now, looking at the pictures of the Reds arriving, getting off the plane. And I cannot see a picture of Mo Salah anywhere. Interesting. Thank you for pointing that one out, Paul. That is very interesting. Anybody have any inklings as to why he didn't travel, or why he at least isn't in the photos? Hope it's nothing serious, whether from a personal point of view or a health issue or an injury or whatever it might be. Shit. That's certainly not great news anyway. But I do want to know now, so anybody have any inkling as to why that might be? Wrigley Mick said, I said 4 streams ago he wanted 22. You did, Mick. You did. I remember you saying that, to be fair. Mick says Ireland get a hard group in December. We never get it easy, to be fair, do we? Not that we complain, we just get on with it. Pepper Red said I couldn't name a single Forest player. Alex said, Craig, do you still think of where we could have been if DIC bought Liverpool? Up shit creek is where we would have been, because they went out of business. Dubai Investment Capital are no more, so we probably would have been in a lot of financial hardship, Alex, mate, if they bought us. And I don't know if that's what you're getting at, by the way. I don't know if you're saying thank fuck they didn't buy us because of where we could be, but you know, where we are now is a good place as well. I mean, we've got to where we are. We bought the players we bought, but with money that the club have raised. We've got the best manager we could possibly want, and things are looking damn bright for Liverpool at this moment in time. Cryptic Game and said, Fat Ronaldo, just face it. Yeah, I just don't like to say that. I don't like to disrespect a player as good as him by saying Fat Ronaldo, but it is the easiest way of describing him, to be fair, because I don't know his real name. Robbo should have number 3, says Kieran, mate, and I completely agree. I mean, I'm old school, and I think a left back should be number 3. So yeah, defo. It was available as well, so I'm with you, Kieran. Robbo definitely should have taken number 3. Cobra said, all of Twitter are now reporting the discussions of open contract extension talks with Mane. That was inevitable, to be fair. I mean, you've seen the other 2 sign their improved deals, so it's only right that he was going to get one as well. And he deserves one. Mane has been tremendous for Liverpool since he came in. And people talk about him not having the season he had last year that he did the year before. But he did better numbers last year. He just didn't. We didn't have to rely on him as much, and he didn't have to stand out as much because of what Salah did. Paul said, could be Twitter nonsense, Craig. Most likely, to be fair, or a sponsor thing he's doing. Again, it could be. He may be a slight bit delayed. He could be flying in afterwards. Maybe he has, something he has to have done in Liverpool, and maybe he'll fly in with Trent. You never know. But hopefully it's nothing. You really hope it's nothing. Michael Marney is in. Hello, Craig. Hello, Michael. Thank you very much for joining the stream, buddy. Steve said he's in the 29-man squad. He absolutely is. I double-checked that one as well. Mayan just saying, I didn't see Mo in the pictures either. And Rian said, what do you think? Is it up? I looked at a video and everyone is in it except for Salah. Yeah, he definitely doesn't seem to be on the plane anyway. That's one thing I think we can safely say by the look of it. Crosby Red said, Jose said to buy a new Megabus this week. Is United lads in? Oh, he is in. Good evening, sir. Welcome. Great to have you back again. Obviously I can see by your comment that you're a little bit frustrated with how things are going there in regards to transfers at United. I don't blame you, buddy. If I'm being honest, I don't blame you. What did I see there? Oh yeah, Louis just saying as well, Liverpool have open talks with Mane, which is great. It's great to see. He deserves it. I do like him as a number 10 as well. It seems to have given him a new lease of life. Not that he needed one, because he's fucking quality. Right guys, look, if you're watching the stream and you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Help us grow the channel. You'll get all our content on here 100% free. All our podcasts, and of course this week's Cop Council podcast went up there today, so it's on the channel. It features myself, Daz from On The Bench LFC, who was on this week, Tom and Chris. So yeah, really good podcast this week. It's up there. It's also available on all the podcast players, iTunes, Acast, Spotify, Castbox, wherever you get your podcast. Check on there for the Anfield Agenda stuff. But don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because hitting the subscribe button lets you know. You get notified when we come online for live streams. Breaking news, it could be anything. Just hitting that subscribe button lets you know that you won't miss anything. As soon as we get on, you'll get notified, and you can come in here and join the crack. Kaiser said, I think the number 10 shirt makes Mane more confident. Again, yeah, I totally agree, buddy. Plus, it is nice to see 9, 10, 11 across the front. So, from that sense, it's nice as well. Steve said, Salah's flying to Madrid. Pulisic and FEKIR are flying into France. Fuck off, Steve. Don't do that to me. Thomas Werwich is also just saying about Mane and his new contract. Space Frog said, what strikers do you have in your fantasy team? Right, let me get my fantasy team up here. I'm going to pull it up onto the screen. Maybe that'll help. Let me see which one's best. There. So that's my fantasy team. Let me know what you think. So for those of you that can't see it or just listening, I went for Rui Patricio in goal, who of course is the Sporting Lisbon keeper that went to Wolves that I spoke about. Harry Maguire with the massive head. Tarkowski and Hector Bellerin are the back three I've gone with. Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah, Jean-Michael Seri, Aaron Ramsey and Naby Keita in midfield. And I've got Firmino and Arnautovic up front because I ran out of fucking money. And then on the bench I have Kasper Schmeichel, Daniels, Connor Cody and Jimenez from Wolves. So that's my fantasy team. But I'll probably change it about 50 times. And I'm shit at Fantasy Premier League as well. Actually, if anyone has any codes that they want to send me, put it in... I'd say put it in the chat, but I won't see it. Email it. If you've any fantasy leagues, I'd love to join them. Compete with you guys. AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com. Send an email with a code to that and I promise you I'll join the league. And yeah, see how shit I am. You can see for yourself quite how shit I am. The United stand. Seriously, it's good to see another Liverpool fan channel out there putting out regular content. Have a little sneaky feeling that might be Garrick just rebranding his account. But of course, again, welcome. Always welcome. Garrick actually banned Connor on Twitter. He blocked him, which Connor took as a great sign of happiness. I don't even interact with Garrick on there because I wouldn't give him the fucking time of day. The only time I want to interact with Garrick is if I ever sit down to do a live show with him, which is I'm gonna make sure it happens at some point in my life. Ferno said Keita is better than Fred Mark. I don't even know why we're having that conversation. He most certainly is, hands down. When is Trent coming to France? Tomorrow, mate. I think he's arriving back in Liverpool tonight or tomorrow morning. Excuse me, and then he's heading over to France. So tomorrow for Trent. Monique Juff said the number of viewers keep growing every day. You've no idea how thankful we are that that's happening. It's brilliant, and it's only happening because amazing people like yourselves come in every day and watch the content. So you guys weren't here, there'd be no point in us being here. So again, thank you guys for that. Lee Baptiste says thoughts on Shaqiri. I think he's a very, very good piece of business for a tremendous price. I just don't know what to expect, Lee. That's my honest answer. We've seen what he's capable of. We've seen flashes of brilliance from him throughout his career, but it's consistency. And this could be his last shot at a big club. For whatever reason, it didn't work out at Bayern Munich. Inter was a bit of a shit show, from all honesty. And Stoke is fucking Stoke. So this could be, 25 years of age now, or 26 years of age. So this could be his last chance at the big club. So I think he's going to give it everything. And if there's one thing Shaqiri doesn't lack, it's confidence. So I've no doubt he thinks he can come and force his way in to be a regular in that starting 11. And let's just wait and see. But all signs look good so far. Again, let me know your thoughts, Lee, in the comments. What's your opinion on the FEKIR deal? Says Unknown Judd. Again, I've said all along, I still think it happens. It's just an opinion. I just want to reiterate that I've got absolutely no inside knowledge on anything to do with Liverpool contract negotiations or Liverpool transfers. I just feel that something is going to be done. You don't go that far to get a player in a position that Klopp clearly wants to strengthen and then just leave it there and have no backup option and don't go back in at all. It's not like the Virgil van Dijk situation where we just couldn't get the player and that's why Klopp refused to sign anybody else. It's not like that. We can get FEKIR. We know he's for sale. We know the number that he's for sale at. So that's not the reason. So I think that something will be done. It's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 days. If it's going to happen, something is going to happen in the next 3 or 4 days. And if we don't hear anything by the time the Reds leave France, then I'm going to be in a completely different mindset than I am now. Levi said Shaqiri still a Stoke reject. I don't know how anybody can say that. Again, how can he be a reject? I don't get it. I mean, being a reject means that he wasn't good enough for Stoke, which he was clearly their best player. Same with when we signed Andy Robertson, people say you're signing a player from a relegated team. Why the fuck are you doing that? Well, look how he worked out. So anybody that thinks Shaqiri is shite, I think is going to be in for a bit of a shock as well. And I'm not saying you are, Levi, mate. I'm not saying that at all. Wrigley Mick said he must have travelled over last night to meet Allison. Maybe, yeah, he might have gone in early on the private jet. Maybe Salah's just saying, I'm not travelling with these fuckers, I want my own plane. Do you know who I am? No, of course he's not like that at all, is he? That's definitely not what Mo Salah's like. Amida Red said he's got Pickford, Azpilicueta, Lascelles, Monreal, Virgil van Dijk, Richarlison, Salah, Keita and De Bruyne, and then Zaha and Vardy. And then subs, Baricic, Fernandinho, or Baricic? Arthur Boric, Fernandinho, Jimenez and Bednarak. Interesting. Sometimes I look at some people's teams and just go, where the fuck did they get the money to buy all them players from? Malga said, what are your thoughts on the Reds in talks with Barca about Dembele? I don't believe it, is my honest answer. If Barca are going to want to recoup the 140 that they paid for him, then no, it's never going to happen. Even a 2-year loan deal makes no sense because they'd still end up wanting to recoup the money that they paid for him, and I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me, mate. Barca are up shit creek as it is with transfers. They need to bring in more players. Maybe they're hoping by cashing in on him that they can fund more players, but I just don't see him going to Liverpool at this moment in time. Great player though, don't get me wrong. Dembele's a class player. Just didn't work out last year from Barcelona, but that doesn't mean it won't work out long term. JP Ward says FEKIR in January I think is a massive possibility. Apparently he tried to get in contact with the chairman and he got blanked and he refused to sign a new contract. Monique Juff said FEKIR deal will happen in France. Gark is trying to be funny, says Dave. Hello Garkness, my old friend. It's Mike243. It's Mike243 said, how are you? I'm very well, thank you, Mike. How are you, my friend? Luby said, Craig, that was the United stand. As in the United stand, the real account. If it was, then brilliant. Welcome, Gark. I hope that was Gark. Was that really Gark? I feel like I let an opportunity just wander away from me there. Was that really him? Was that not just somebody renaming their account? I'm going to go back up and scroll now. I need to know this. If that was Gark, then we've won. Can anybody confirm if that was the real account for me? Oh my god, is it really him? That's class. Gark, come back. Come in, Gark, have a chat. That's nuts. Gark knows that he's been garked. Excellent. That's crazy. It's funny how things work out, isn't it? Honestly didn't think that was the real account, guys. You live and learn. That's nuts. Connor will be absolutely fucking raging that he missed Gark. It was the real account saying loads of people. That was nuts. That's crazy. It was him. Oh well. Oh well. Gark popped in to say hello. That's crazy. Who was Gark? Says Cryptic Gaming. Gark Mulbridge. The gentleman that's the face of the United stand. Wrigley Mix said, put the fishing rod away, Craig. You caught a £200 Gark. I have to message Connor. I'm doing it live on this stream actually because I want you guys to see the smugness on my face as I message Connor to let him know that Gark popped in. I'm doing it right now, so bear with me. Apologies for the silence, guys. I'm just sending Connor loads of laughy faces here. There you go. He'll be raising that he missed out on Mr. Gark Mulbridge. Steve said Gark came in and Lou said fuck you. Come on, we always treat people with respect when they come in. You guys know that. Until people are disrespectful to us, we always treat them with respect. Well, look, I can't speak for you guys, but we try and be respectful to everybody if they show us respect. So if that was Gark and he did pop in to say hello, then of course I would have treated him respectfully, and we should treat him respectfully if he comes back in, but he's still a fucking plank. Regardless of what he thinks of the channel, if he thinks it's doing well, if he thinks it'll grow, let's be honest, he's still my special little soldier, and my views on that will never change. Yeah, look, you guys know. I don't know what he does. If he does it for hits, I don't know, but he's just a fucking plank. He really is. His Gark is worse than his boy, says Wrigley Mick. Adam Murray says, favourite YouTuber right now. Thank you, Adam, mate. That's class. Connor's messaging me going, what the fuck? I just got a message saying it was him. What did he say? Oh, Connor. He's going to be absolutely raging now that he missed Gark. Oh, Charlie's just saying he's speaking to Connor now. Good buddy, I'll let you tell him more then, because I'm going to be working away here. Could you sing LA? Says Coxie TV. Mate, you don't want to hear me sing. Definitely don't want to hear me sing. I've sang it a few times on other streams, I think, but you don't want to hear me sing. I can't sing to save my fucking life. El Chapo said, I would put money on the United stand lad. Is Gark on that account? Goldbridge is great at pulling viewers though, said Ferno. Oh look, hands down. I mean, that's the only area you've got to give that man respect in, is he knows how to play the game. He knows how to get people to his channel. He knows how to get viewers. He knows how to wind people up. I mean, you got to tip your hat to him on that one. If nothing else, Gark knows how to get people to his channel. So yes, he gets respect in that sense. He's still a fucking idiot though. I'm gonna prank call Man United. Hello, can you tell me who? Never mind, worst joke ever. Luby said at first I didn't think it was the real account. I don't know. Again, it would never enter my head to pop into their YouTube stream and just have a chat, but I don't know. Maybe Gark's a little bit bored. Back to Liverpool. Good. Kieran said, Craig, I think Klopp's probably done with the transfer window. However, I think that Pulisic is an FSG transfer. Also, Salah is with the squad. He posted on his Instagram story this morning. They hadn't left this morning though. That's the thing, Kieran. They were still at Liverpool this morning. So he probably was with them then. They only travelled, I don't know if it was afternoon or evening, they travelled over to France. Andrade said, Junior, I'll be your biggest fan if you remember the name of the guy who made us start the weird thing writing. Fucking, that writing does my head in, by the way. So yeah, can you limit that to Daz's stream? That's so unneat that it just does my head in. Right, so look, you guys, what do you want to have a chat about? Let's not worry about Gark. Gark can fuck off back to Garkland. Let's concentrate on you guys, the important people in this stream. The people who I actually give a shit about. It really was Gark by the looks of things as well. Loads of people just say, yes, it really was him. But let's just work away from him and circle back around to Liverpool. Let me just look in. I have some stream notes that I want to have a chat about. Let me just see if there's anything I want to bring up or anything I forgot to mention previously. Liverpool have announced their first team physiotherapist, Ruben Pons, has left his post with immediate effect. Not really a big issue, but a little bit of news there to just touch on. So once again, Liverpool have announced first team physiotherapist Ruben Pons has left his post with immediate effect. Obviously you guys must have seen the squad that travelled over. Oh, Connor's there, look. I'm always for one day and this happens. I'm away for one day and this happens, says Connor. Well, you know what, Connor? Maybe you poked him. Maybe that was it. Maybe when you pissed him off the other day, he said, who's this fucking lad slagging me off? And he found out that you were related to this channel, so maybe it was because of you. So the Liverpool squad that travelled over to the training camp in Evian in France is Kelleher, Grabara, Allison, Carriot, Van Dijk, Clavin, Moreno, Robertson, Phillips, Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Klein, Matip, Milner, Keita, Fabinho, Grujic, Lallana, Camacho, Wijnaldum, Jones, Sturridge, Ings, Origi, Shaqiri, Mane, Firmino, Solanke, and then of course we have the Salah thing. Down as travelling, but question mark over if he actually did. So yes, one more bit of transfer news actually. Another possible link to an incoming player. I'm sure you guys have seen this one before, but Italian journalist Francesco, I think it's Veluzzi, believes that the Reds are tracking Calgary midfielder Nicolo Barella. Is it Barella? 34 appearances last year in Serie A, scoring 6 goals, and he's been linked apparently since January. So, so Calgary midfielder Nicolo Barella. Gotta be honest, I know fuck all about him. I can say I probably watched Calgary maybe 3 times in my life, and that would be when they were playing against Napoli. So, yeah, I don't know. Interesting on that one. I'm sure there are guys in the stream who know a lot more about that player than I do, but again, just a few little bits of news there that I had wrote down that I wanted to share with you all. Steve saying to Connor, unlucky. Connor, you enjoy your holiday, buddy. Leave the superstar work to us superstars on here. Kings talk to kings, Connor. That's the way things work. Connor did, by the way. He said I made a lovely image on Twitter, at ConArtist LFC, if you want to check it out. It was absolutely hilarious, to be fair. As he said, did you watch Clare versus Galway? I caught the very, very end of extra time. Literally seen the last 3 points. So I seen the equaliser. I seen the one that they thought they'd won with. That was it. I caught the very end of it. I wouldn't be the biggest hurling fan if I'm being honest. Tom said, evening Craig and all you Liverpool legends and grumpy old Uncle Jose and his special little helper, Zero Gark 30, who was in a few minutes ago, Tom. You missed Gark. He literally did pop into the chat. Lee Fulker said, if the rest of the league start to exploit our attack-heavy fullbacks, would you consider letting Fabinho drop back to make it 3 or even start him there in a 5-2-3-3-4-3 system? I think, Lee, what I've noticed... do you know what? I'm not going to say I've noticed this because it was pointed out to me. I think it was Chris that actually noticed it. When our fullbacks were attacking in pre-season, that is pretty much what was happening. Fabinho was dropping back and almost splitting the 2 fullbacks into a 3 to give us that cover. Maybe a couple of yards ahead, but he was certainly dropping back. We've seen that system a couple of times. Well, I say a couple of times, a lot of the time, under Brendan Rodgers. It's an understandable, easy thing to do, and I can understand why you're going with that idea, and I think we will see it at times, but I don't know. Are they really that attack heavy, or is it just that we're in possession of the ball a lot of the time? I wouldn't say that Andy Robertson is caught out of position very often. It's a tough conversation. I get where you're coming from, and it makes perfect sense. It's what's done so many times when fullbacks push on. The deepest line midfielder does drop back, split the fullbacks and create that back 3. I don't know if we'd ever start with that though. I think we'll always start with the 4 at the back. But as I've said before, sometimes we get a little bit caught up on formations and things are very fluid in a game of football. Particularly under Jurgen Klopp, formations can change 2 and 3, 4 times in a game. Steve's talking about James Pearce now mentioning the new Man deal, which is again brilliant. Great to see him signing that new deal, or at least, agreeing a new deal. What else have we got? Again, guys, I'm trying to get through so many of your comments, so if I've missed it, apologies. It's not done on purpose. Wait, where are we? Jimmy W said that he saw links to Bonucci today as well. Andre says, Craig, what do you think about Lascelles, Tarkowski and De Ligt? Also, Pulisic underperformed last year, in my opinion. He did, most certainly underperformed. But then so did Dortmund as a club, so I think, it just wasn't a great year last year for Dortmund. De Ligt is quality, really, really young, obviously, but absolute quality. I know Dave, one of the guys on our podcast, and you guys know Dave. I know Dave thinks really highly of De Ligt and has been singing his praises since I've known him. Quality player. And if you had him and Van Dijk, then you have the Dutch centre-back pairing for the next 5 or 6 years, so it would be great to have him. Lascelles as well. I really rate Lascelles highly. I read somewhere before, or heard somewhere before, that he comes from a family of athletes, so he's obviously got good stock. And Rafa making him Newcastle captain tells me everything I need to know about the guy as a person. So of the 3 of those, take out Tarkowski and I would happily have De Ligt or Lascelles, mate, at the club, happily. Rafael says, hiya from Poland. Hiya, Rafael, and thank you for joining the channel, buddy. I hope you subscribe. Thank you for coming into the chat. And make sure you keep commenting and sharing your thoughts with us. Far Isle said, Liverpool have tried to bring in the FEKIR from Lyon to be his replacement in June, but that transfer failed. I don't know. Oh, you're going with Dominic King on that one, is it? Steve said, didn't Dominic King manage Mike Tyson? Steve, mate, I love it. I wish I could have you on tap, Steve. Honestly, for when I'm feeling a bit down, having Steve on tap would be hilarious. Maybe I should just get some recordings of you, Steve, and every time I'm feeling down I can just play them, your funny one-liners, because they always make me smile. What else have we got? Barella is class, says James Bowers. Thank you for that one, buddy, because I honestly know very, very little about him. Ferno's also from Poland, which is great to now know, mate. Thank you. I have the same name as you that I chose for my confirmation, Rafael. Speaking about confirmations, do you know what name I picked for my confirmation? I picked Zach, as in from Zachary, but the real reason I picked Zach was because of Zach from Saved by the Bell. So, yeah, that's my childhood, and that's who I took for my confirmation name. Man Like Ben said, I hope this is Joe Gomez's proper breakout season. He has potential to be a world-class defender, in my opinion. And I think Klopp shares your opinion, mate. I really do. It was just injuries that held him back last year, and it was such a shame because, as you rightly said, he has bags and bags of potential. And if he can establish himself alongside Virgil van Dijk, and I'm including Dejan Lovren there, regardless of whether people hate him or not, Dejan Lovren on top form is a world-class defender. It's just how often you can keep him on form for. But Joe Gomez adding in there will be absolute quality, and having Gomez, Van Dijk, Lovren and possibly one more in there as your options would really, really strengthen us. What else have we got? Connor said, it now makes sense why he'd wait and see, even though he knows who he had already. Maine said, everyone is talking about Salah not being on the plane on Twitter. Yeah, we had the conversation just a little while ago, buddy. It's interesting, and I would love to know why he didn't travel. I'm sure there's a perfectly innocent explanation for it. We overreact, or we look far too much into things at times as fans, but I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation as to why he didn't travel. Toby Hickman said, do you think we will sign FEKIR? I do, buddy. I do. I've said it all along. I really think we get this one done. And I just want to reiterate that I've no knowledge on that. No inside information. I don't even claim to have it. Just going on a gut feeling. I think we're going to try anyway. I think we'll definitely hear more about this. There'll be more conversations had between Liverpool and Lyon before the window closes. Just a matter of whether we can get a deal that suits all parties, and it may well go down to the last minute, unfortunately. Paul Turner said we've got 101 thumbs up, which is brilliant. Thank you guys very much for that one. If you are watching, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You get all the notifications of all our content on here, 100% free, always will be. If you guys do want to help us out on the channel, and we have had some tremendous people help us out over the past couple of months, if you want to help us out, you want to help us grow the channel, you want to buy Connor a pint, you want to get me some turtle wax for my bald head, whatever it might be, you can do so. There are various ways of doing it. I'm going to put it in the chat now. You can go into Patreon, PayPal, Ko-fi, whatever works for you. It's there in the chat. And also, don't forget to enter our competition to win one of 5 Liverpool home shirts. We teamed up with our friends at soccerlord.se to give away, as I said, 5 Liverpool home shirts. All the details are in the stream notes. And there's a pinned tweet on the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. So jump over there and have a look at that. If you go on to Soccer Lord and there's some stuff on there you like, you want to buy it, if you enter the code AAMC, so that's Alpha Alpha Mike Charlie, all in caps, that'll get you a 10% discount off absolutely anything on Soccer Lord. And the prices are really good. So if you haven't yet looked, jump onto the site. I can promise you won't be disappointed. They've got adults kits, kids kits, badges, names, numbers, everything you need. Soccerlord.se. Jump on, have a look, and don't forget AAMC for a 10% discount. Stephen Burns said, I heard Valencia were looking to sign Origi for 27 million. What? Great if it happens. I think Origi's got to go. I've heard a few people talking in newspapers and stuff about a loan for Origi, or some clubs coming in looking to get him on loan. Well, he's got 1 year left on his contract. It would make absolutely no sense for Liverpool to loan Divock Origi. If we're going to move him on, we have to sell him, because otherwise he's just going to walk on a free. So if he wants to get 1 more year out of him, then that's up to Klopp. I don't think he's good enough, but look, it's up to Klopp. But yeah, you got to move him on as a sale, not as a loan. So I think it was Watford maybe had acquired after a loan, which is nuts. And who was it Damien Comolli went to? Was it Fenerbahce? I think it was Fenerbahce that Damien Comolli went to. Yeah, he's looking to get him on loan as well, but that makes fuck all sense for Liverpool. You just have to sell him. I think 27 million is a little bit optimistic from Liverpool's sense, but you know what? We've been great at selling players, so I'm not going to say they're stupid if they think they can get that money, because Michael Edwards and Liverpool have got really good money for players so far. Ferno said, Lascelles is very similar to Cara and I'd love him at Liverpool. Nick E said, I reckon we'll get Pulisic rather than Fekir. And Nick may either or, buddy. It would be great to get either one. Either one would really improve the squad. So I'm not going to complain if we sign Christian Pulisic. People on here now would be very fucking happy with that one. Andre says, I love Fabinho. He's cheating on his wife with me. Fair enough. Whatever works for you. What else was there? Sorry, scrolling back through. I hate missing out on some of your comments, guys. I wish I could literally read every single one of them, because I appreciate you guys taking the time to write them. Raphael says, yep, I have subscribed. Thank you, buddy. You are most welcome to the channel, and thank you for your patronage, I think is the right word. Maybe it's not, because the patron somebody who actually buys something, so support maybe? Support's a better word. Jimmy said, I have to hit the sack, Craig. Great chat as always. Thank you, buddy, and have a good one. I will chat to you soon, no doubt. Ahmed Red said, what about Tarkowski from Burnley? Decent player. Just not for me, buddy. I think there's better alternatives if we were to go for a centre back, but why not? I mean, a few people have mentioned him. I'm not going to lie and say I'm an expert on Tarkowski. I've seen him a handful of times, but I just think Lascelles would be a better purchase, and De Ligt would certainly be a better option. Tommy says, great channel, guys. I hope you hit 5k subscribers. Keep up the good work. It's not an easy job. Tommy, mate, thank you. Very kind of you to say so. Yeah, hopefully we will hit 5k someday. But if we do, it's only because of the group. It's only because of the effort put in by everybody. We may be on here recording the content or putting it out, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys in the chat, coming on every night, watching the streams. The amazing people that have helped us fund the channel, that have helped us build the website, which will be launching before the season starts. So keep an eye out for that one. Anfield Agenda. What's the email? It's AnfieldAgenda.com. Yeah, really simple. AnfieldAgenda.com. Connor's working on it now. It will be launched before the season starts. We've said this before. There'll be a member section on it, completely free to sign up. You'll get access to private streams, a member section on the site. We will also give you access to phone-ins and stuff like that after games. So just another thing we're trying to do to give back to you guys. Oh, excuse me. Stephen said, any Mundo Sporto rumours, they may be minimised for the time being because Connor is away on holiday, so Mundo Sporto could be having a quiet one. Do you think Pulisic is a January transfer and Fekir is this window? I don't know, Thomas, but I'd fucking love if it was, mate. I would absolutely love if it was. Imagine that. Imagine we got Fekir in this window and then secured Christian Pulisic in January. Jesus Christ, I'd be over the moon. Oh, you've teased me now. That's absolute. That would be quality. Max Pryor said, what a summer. Keita, Fabinho, Shaqiri, Alisson signed, and Firmino, Salah, Brewster, now Mane signed a new long-term contracts. I love Jurgen Klopp. Mark, mate, I'm with you on everything 100%. I love me a bit of Kloppo as well. What an impact he's had at this football club, mate. What an impact. And fingers crossed he's here for many, many years to come. Somebody talking about Paqueta, who I think we had been linked to. Is that the Flamengo guy, if memory serves me correct? I'd imagine the work permit might be an issue there, but sometimes some Brazilians do have dual Portuguese nationality, so maybe with him that might be the case. Cryptic Gaming said, how do you only have 2k subs? You deserve 500,000. Mate, I'll be completely honest. I haven't got a fucking Scooby how YouTube works. I come from a podcasting background. That's where I made most of my LFC content over the last couple of years. YouTube is new to me. Connor is much better at this stuff than I am in regard to the tech side of things. I just wheel myself in front of the camera every night and hope for the best. The channel will grow. I like it to grow organically, if that makes sense. I mean, growing with viewers who actually want to be here, with people who really want to watch the channel and aren't just jumping on a bandwagon because we made one thing that goes a bit viral or something like that, if you get where I'm coming from. I'd rather have 10k subs of people that really enjoy what we do than 100,000 subs of people who just think it's hip or just think it's fashionable to follow a channel because they've blown up on something like that. I just want people to be in here to have a genuine chat about the Reds, whether it's 10,000 people, 1,000 people, 50 people or a million people. As long as everybody in here wants to be here, enjoying what we do, contributing to the chat, having a laugh, then happy fucking days. Because this is not about money. This is not about us making a living. I don't give a fuck about money. We have to keep the channel going, and that does cost a little bit, but I'm not in this to make money. I'm not in this to make a fucking living. I'm in this for life experiences, to get to meet Reds. The little things like getting media passes to the match in Dublin, that for me is worth all the work. That's worth putting in 1,000 hours on YouTube just to get these little things that I wouldn't normally get in life. So for me, that's enough payoff. It's not about cash. We've said before, any cash that we get is going straight back into Anfield Agenda, whether it be improved cameras, equipment, lighting, a studio in the future, whatever the fuck it might be. It will all be going back into the channel. None of it will be going into our pockets. I can guarantee you that much. Craig, what do you think of Diago Cardine? Could be a good partner for Van Dijk. I don't know who that is. Honestly, Gary, I don't know who that is. Charlie said 200 likes and Craig shaves his hair. Yeah, I can guarantee that one. 200 likes and I'll shave my head. Definitely. Can definitely do that. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll even shave my balls as well. But I won't do it on camera, clearly. But I'll tell you guys they're done. 200 likes, why not? If we win the league, I promise, if we win the league, you guys on here can come up with a forfeit for me. And as long as it's not life-threatening, I promise you guys I'll have a bash at doing it. If we win the league. United says, in time, I'm sure Craig will. What am I doing? What am I doing in time? Let me scroll back through. Oh, hit the 500,000, sorry. I hope so. But as I said, I'd rather have 10,000 people that genuinely like being here than a few jumper or hanger-oners who really don't give a fuck about the channel. Because it's about building a community, guys, isn't it? It's about getting to know each other. And if we grow together. If we fail, then we fucking fail together. That's the way it works for me. Thomas Boland says, just add emojis. That catches Craig's eye. Jesus. It does, actually. I'll be honest, it does. Some people know the trick at this point. Toby Hickman says, what position of the team do you think we need to improve on? Attacking and a centre-back. And by attacking, I don't mind, I've said this earlier on, if it's a wide forward, if it's a centre-forward, or if it's an attacking midfielder. I just think we need more bodies there to cover the front three. But it's getting harder and harder, Toby, to improve this team because it's a damn good team. But thankfully, it's not just about improving the first 11. We've got to think about a really long season across 4 competitions. So you need bodies for that if you're really going to try and challenge. Tom said the Manx are officially in meltdown. I didn't have to wind the FEKIRs up today. They came looking for me. So you think you're going to win the league this year? I just smiled and said probably. Sure, we had a visit from Gark earlier on. I mean, that's how much meltdown they're in. They're even trying to get onto Liverpool channels at this point for some good laughs and a bit of fun. So fuck them. Fuck them. Good enough for them. I hope the Manx are in full on meltdown. Good enough for each and every one of those bastards. I'm sick of looking at their smug, gloating fucking faces over the past 10, 15 years. Welcome to normality, motherfuckers, because you had a fantastic manager in Sir Alex Ferguson who did amazing things with your football club, and begrudgingly I will give him all the respect in the world, but those days are gone, fuckers. Welcome to normality. And we're on the rise and they're not. Fuck them. Can I say that again? Fuck them. Charlie said, also Craig, it was Gark. He joined us after the stream ended. Legit like 5 minutes after he ended it. That's nuts. It is nuts, but look, it's good that he knows we exist. So that in itself shows maybe we're doing something a little bit right. Or it could have just been an absolute fluke. Either way, I'm still looking on the positive. Steve said he has inside information on FEKIR. It's Rene from Hello. United lad said Craig, George Best or Dennis Irwin. It has to be Bestie, doesn't it? I mean, it has to be Bestie. I mean, Bestie was a proper superstar, wasn't it? Miss World on one arm, fucking champagne everywhere, hangover the next day. Proper superstar, buddy. But I mean, Dennis Irwin was tremendous as well. Mr. Consistency. Brilliant for Ireland, brilliant for Manchester United, but it's got to be Bestie. What's all this about FEKIR following loads of restaurants, by the way, guys? That's nuts. Is that true, or is this just some blag account? Kieran says Craig, Tyson Fury confirmed he's in advanced talks with Wilder. I seen that earlier on. That kind of came out of nowhere, Kieran, didn't it? Yeah, we all seen the dance between Joshua and Wilder, but I mean I would say beef, but I mean before Joshua burst on to superstardom, Wilder and Fury was the fight. I mean we've seen them in the ring together a couple of times squaring up and talking about a fight, so it makes sense, and I'm sure Joshua would happily sit back and watch it happen and know that whoever wins that then is an even bigger fight for him. But I think, do you know what, I think it's only fair that Dillian White starts getting a chance somewhere along the lines as well, because he's earned a shot at somebody. Whether that's Joshua or whether that's Wilder, I don't know. Politics and boxing is fucking stupid, but he's earned a shot as well, hasn't he? So the heavyweight division is in the best place it's been in the past probably 15 years, because Klitschko just made it so dull and boring for so long because he was just so much better than everybody else. After his, what did he have, 3 or 4 losses early in his career, and then Emmanuel Stewart just gave him a style that nobody could get inside, nobody could catch him, and once nobody was able to catch him on the chin, then he was good enough keeping him at range. And even after Emmanuel Stewart died, obviously Klitschko, kept that style going and had a really long reign as the top of the heavyweight division, but it was boring as fuck for everybody else. So thankfully now with this new young blood coming through, and there's a few, the heavyweight division is really hotting up. It's getting back to being one of the premier divisions in boxing, and I love it. I mean, who doesn't love seeing the biggest people in the world slapping fuck out of each other and knowing that the fight can end in 1 second, because all it takes is one of these monsters to connect on someone's chin and it's night. I look Cryptic Gaming. You're going a bit overboard now with the emojis. Russia spent 75 million on Reach Mars. United spent 200 million a couple of years ago and couldn't even reach the top of the table. Couldn't add any more. Do you guys remember the story? And I don't know if this is kind of an old wives' tale or not, or this is true, but again, NASA apparently spent millions trying to sort out a pen that could write in space, and they just couldn't figure it out. And they spent millions and millions on research trying to figure out how they could get a pen to write in zero gravity in space. And Russia just used a pencil and solved the problem, which that always makes me smile. I have no idea if it's true or not, but it always makes me smile. We got a lot of United trolls on tonight, says Dave. I haven't seen any of them because you guys have been so fucking good at swatting them away. I honestly, maybe I have them turned off from previous times or something, but I haven't seen any of them, so it's great for me. I only get to chat to you guys. We have a few people muted, so maybe we have those guys muted, but that's why we have so many mods in here, because the guys do a great job swatting these trolls away, so thank you for that one. Farrell said, somebody asked today, who's the bigger club, United or Liverpool? I said they conquered England the most, we conquered Europe. Europe is bigger, so we're better. And then United lads himself says, I'll say a bit, we're not all in meltdown. Are you worried though? Honestly, what's your thoughts on what's going to happen in the upcoming season? Is the manager the issue? I read somewhere today that the relationship between Ed Woodward and Mourinho is the worst it's ever been. And look, I don't know if that's the media jumping on this and trying to make more of it than it is, but I honestly, banter aside, I'd love to know how you're feeling about the season for United. We can still chat. Irish Red said, what else have we got? Tom Connolly said pencil. Oh, stop Junior with that stupid fucking uppercase, lowercase chat. What else have we got? Sorry, just flicking through the comments. You can have a horse of water, but a pencil must be lead. Oh, damn. Yambo123 said, trust me, Fekir's going to be like the VVD deal. The captain that was confirmed to stay will play shit and leave in January. It's a completely different situation though, Yambo. Southampton just wouldn't sell. Leon will sell. That's, I think, the major difference here. Southampton just point blank refused to sell Van Dijk, where I don't think that's the case. I mean, we know that's not the case because we had agreed a fee already, so I don't think it'll go to January. I think if it doesn't happen this summer, then it may not just not happen. Fatal Frag said, Liverpool are on the up, United going down, the Mancs are in meltdown. I added in the laugh myself at the end because it just makes me smile thinking about it. Aaron Lennon said Fekir will happen this week. Kieran Aaron said Jose will be gone by the new year. I did say to you guys yesterday that Paddy Power put out a tweet or something saying that he was now the favourite to be the first manager to leave his position, the first Premier League manager to leave his position, and that Mauricio Pochettino had been put in a 4-1 or something as the favourite to take over. Where else are we? Jose's the bookie's favourite to be sacked, says Wrigley Mick. Yep, just mentioned that one. Spade Frog said, Craig, do you think Gerrard is the natural choice of manager after Klopp retires? You'd hope so, but it's far too early to say. You really need to see how he gets on up at Rangers and what type of style of football he has Rangers playing. You'd hope so. You really would. I mean, it would be a lovely story and it would be a lovely kind of full circle for him to come back and manage the club. And hopefully at a time where the club are in a good place as well. Sean says, Mourinho's a horrible man, always complaining and giving out about referees, etc. Whenever he's at the wrong side of a result, it's never his fault. Take some responsibility, you little gremlin. Yeah, I fucking hate managers that do that. And I hate managers that throw their players under the bus. It was something that pissed me off about Brendan Rodgers. And it's something that I think the Emu does far too much as well. Steve said, one aspect is, if we sign Fekir in January or Pulisic, they won't be cup tied as UEFA changed the rules. Players can play now for other teams after the group stages. Yeah, there was a ridiculous, farcical situation last year, wasn't there, with Arsenal, where was it Aubameyang or Lacazette that came in and couldn't play? Vinny said, Mane new deal done. Is that being confirmed, or are we just going off the fact that, you know, everybody's saying he's in talks? Great if it is. Either way, it's great news because tying down Mane is exactly what we need to be doing. Louis said, what source said that Leon are close to getting Hector? Is that Jonas Hector? Is that who we're talking about? Or are we talking about the Hector Moreno? Is that his name? Or is there another Hector? I mean, there's so many fucking players, it's hard to keep track. HD Clown said, if we win the league, I dare you to do a full broadcast wearing the GIMP costume from Pulp Fiction. No problem. Honestly, I don't fucking feel shame, mate. So yeah, whatever. If we win the league and that's what people vote for, then if I can get my hands on a GIMP costume, then I wear a fucking GIMP costume. I don't feel shame. I don't get embarrassed. So why not? Yeah, absolutely. If we win the league, I'll be so happy that I'll probably agree to almost anything. I'm not reading that joke, Tom. It's just, no, I just can't. Wasim said, FEKIR will sign on August 4th, Origi will go to Valencia, Mignolet to Besiktas, and Ings to Crystal Palace. I would like every single one of those to come true, buddy, so fingers crossed you're spot on. 1, 2, Jose's coming for you. Sorry, that was in the chat. I didn't just start singing the fucking song from Nightmare on Elm Street for no reason. Right, so where are we at with thumbs up, guys? You know I like to do a little check every so often. Let us know how we doing on thumbs up. If you're watching the stream and you are enjoying it, do give us a thumbs up. Do hit that subscribe button. Help us grow the channel. As we like to say in Anfield Agenda, be part of the solution. We've got no idea what the problem is, but we'd still like you to be part of the solution. What's up, Craig? Said Kieran Brolly. What is up, buddy? Welcome. Great to have you on. Mundo Sporto confirmed with Ted Steve. Well, then you can put the fucking house on it, mate, because if Mundo Sporto confirms anything, you know it's true. Wait, is that Diet Coke? Said Cryptic Gaming. It's Diet Chav, mate. The world's finest beverage. Diet Chav. The drink of champions and future sponsors of Liverpool Football Club. Hector Herrera says Wrigley Mick. Thank you, buddy. Bubba has put a number in there, buddy. I don't know what that is. If it's a Fantasy Premier League code, then of course, if that's what it is, then, and it doesn't really look like one, but if it is, then email it or send it to us on the Twitter account. And the email, of course, is anfieldagenda@outlook.com for anyone that wants to send us an email. And Andre says, yeah, I want Besiktas to buy Mignolet. So do I. So do I. Really, so do I. Like 1,000%. So do I. Mignolet, SpongeBob, Squarehead, Gobshite, Cunty Face, McGobshite. Please fuck off, Mignolet, please. I've suffered enough, Simon. Just go. Just go. We've been through enough, mate. If it was a divorce, we'd be definitely putting down irreconcilable differences. Just go. Turkey's lovely this time of year. You'll like it over there. They love people with SpongeBob heads in Turkey. Amidared said you can borrow my GIMP suit. It's a bit tacky, like, but we'll give it a spray down, give it a hose down out the back, mate. I'm sure it will be sound. Cheers for the offer. Steve said he'll donate his mum's GIMP outfit. Oh, see, there's so many things I could do with that comment, buddy, but I wouldn't disrespect your mother by talking like that. I mean, obviously you're free to talk about your mother in any way you want, but I mean, I like you, so I'm not going to disrespect your mother, buddy. Callum said, what's new on FEKIR, Craig? Loving how quickly the channel is growing. As am I, Callum. I'm blown away, mate. I say this every night and people are probably sick of hearing me talk about it, but the gratitude that I have for the people that come on here every night and have helped us get to where we're getting to, you've no idea how much it means to us, honestly. I come off here every night like an excited child. I go to my wife and I tell her about the numbers. I tell her how many people are after being on the stream. I tell her how many cunts give us thumbs down. I do like to wind people because I know when I say that we get more of them. So I like to let people think they're actually affecting me when all they're letting me do is knowing that I'm getting to them. But look, getting back to reality, it means a lot. So thank you. BBC just said Liverpool started contract talks with Mane. They posted like an hour ago. The Dark Reaper is hovering around Mourinho. Space Frog 55 said, Craig, what will happen to Curtis Jones this season? I really like that kid. He's blown me away in pre-season. And I've been honest and said a couple of times I knew very little about Curtis Jones until pre-season, but he has really stood out. And I'd love to see him kept in and around the squad this year. He definitely seems like a player we could put in to the cup games, and he wouldn't let us down. So I think we might see him kept around. I hope we do. Very good player, and I hope he has a good future at the club. As I said though, I got to be honest and say before the pre-season I'd seen very little of him. 126 thumbs up, which is pretty cool. Thank you guys. Thank you to everyone that's taken the time to do that. Steve said, Craig, how many thumbs up do you like? It depends, mate. It depends if I'm in a good mood or not. Depends if I'm lubed up. I can't just give you a simple answer. Multiple thumbs is good at times. It depends. Depends what I can handle. Chelsea or United? Neither. I heard Jose's close to a nervous breakdown. He wrote the last team sheet using his own shite. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I'd love to see the images if that was the case. Jose there with a fucking stick full of shite, writing it on the wall. Oh, blaming the referee. Arguing with Mark Goldbridge, sat in the corner, shaking, scared, not being allowed out of the dressing room. Mourinho screaming at him, Gark! Gark, it's all your fault, Gark! Gark! Wrigley Mick said, we'll lock you in a room for 24 hours with your alarm going off as a forfeit. You'd never see me again, because I'd be full on gone. There'd be no coming back from that for me, buddy. I would be a basket case. Lee O'Connor said, a dislike is still a view, right? It is, yeah, it is absolutely. I've had a few people in the comments after the stream say, I dislike every stream you do, you're shit, I've hated you from the start. And my answer to that is, thank you for letting me know I'm in your head, dickhead, and I shall stay there and I won't go away. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if I don't like somebody, I just move on. I wouldn't be arsed even taking the time to give them a thumbs down, because that would involve effort on my behalf, and I like to put my effort into positive things and positive people. So I'd much rather spend the time saying to somebody, you know what, mate, I really like what you're doing, I listen to your podcasts, or if and I've done this many times. I mean, I've gone to restaurants where we've got really good service and I've taken the time to write an email to say thank you, you made our night, it was brilliant to be there. I'd much rather do things like that. It's much nicer to be positive in life. It puts you in a better mindset than going around being fucking negative and angry all the time. I mean, what's the point? You only live once. Surround yourself with positive people. Think things positively. You won't always get positive results all the time, but you know what? You'll be a better person and you'll probably feel a bit healthier as well. It took me a long time to turn my mind around to think that way. By the way, I was an angry person for many years, because of personal stuff that happened throughout my life. But being positive and trying to treat people respectfully and be nice is it's a much better way of looking at things, and it's made my life infinitely better. Diet Chav or Guinness? Diet Chav. I don't drink, so it wouldn't be Guinness for me. I keep saying I don't drink. People must think I don't drink because I have a problem or something. I don't drink because I cannot be arsed with a hangover. I might drink very occasionally, but Diet Chav, because I drink that by the gallon. Tom said 136 legends have now given us their thumbs up, which is class. Thank you guys very much. Monkey B1 said you should use the pics behind you on the Anfield Agenda t-shirts and merchandise. They aren't my images, mate. They are available, by the way. I should say that. I've told you guys before. It's I want to give you the exact details of where you can get them. So bear with me for 2 seconds, because I do like to give people credit for their hard work. So bear with me. Right, so all the images that are behind me are done by Dave. And you can follow Dave on Twitter, and Dave is at Liverpool Toons. So it's at Liverpool, obviously spelled the correct way, and Toons spelled Toonz. Now Dave has a website, footballcartoon.co.uk. So that's footballcartoon.co.uk. Dave does designs of every football club. All the Liverpool stuff you see here will be on there. Dave makes t-shirts, Dave makes mugs. Dave can do custom stuff for you. He's drawn me cartoons before as well. You see the little cartoon me in the bottom right hand corner of the screen there? That was also done by Dave. Dave is a multifaceted, brilliant person. And you know what else? He's a nice guy, which is important as well. If you're going to give people your business, if you're going to try help them out, how much better is it if they're a nice person? And Dave is an absolute gent. So once again, that's it's Football Cartoon. So footballcartoon.co.uk. If you're talking to him on Twitter, tell him I sent you over. Tell him Craig told me to say hi. He may even give you a few quid off, but he's a really nice guy. His work is brilliant. And he's going to send us some more of these as well. He's going to send us some stuff to give away to you guys. He's going to send us the entire squad when it's done. So, as I said, he's just a nice guy. A really, really nice guy. What else is there in the chat? Okay, I feel like I've fallen behind. So, 143 now, somebody's saying. Callum is saying 2.5 subscribers is on the way. We must be a good bit away from that, though, to be fair. We've just tipped past 2.4, which is brilliant in itself. I mean, we've had about 1,200 subscribers in the past 28 days. And I know I said this to you guys before, but you obviously running an account, you get your stats and stuff. And last week I looked through and I seen that in the last 28 days, we've had 1.2 million minutes of watch time. 1.2 million minutes of watch time. That's fucking insane. It's also scary to think, because you look at this, I can see a computer screen, I can see who's in the chat, but you've no idea like that there's just people sitting around watching that don't interact, that, you know, maybe they're just shy, or maybe they haven't got time to interact, or maybe that they just don't like interacting. But it is scary. And 1.2 million minutes of watch time, it's brilliant, but it's scary as hell. Dave said, Jesus, we need to have a chat, Craig. I need some of that positivity. Honestly, mate, get on that positivity bus, because it changes everything. Everything. I used to have headaches. I used to have cramps in my stomach. I used to have pains down my arms and stuff. I was just one angry dude. And it's just not worth it. Life is too short. Have fun. Create memories with your family. Tell your wife you love her every day. Come on here and talk to legends every night. It doesn't get any better. Just all you need is enough money, you know, and money isn't easy to come by, just to pay the bills and be comfortable and keep the lights on, keep the heating on, put food in the kids' stomachs, and if you can have a holiday as well, brilliant. But other than that, just enjoy your fucking life, because we're only here once, my friends. We're only here once. But the Reds are on the up. That's the good news here. The Reds are on the up. Kloppo's on the march. Keita's going to tear people a new asshole. And Allison's going to make his debut in my beautiful home city of Dublin. So, another reason to be positive. What else have we got? The Child Who Lives in a Bin. Great to have you in, by the way. I was looking for you tonight, so great to have you in. What's the latest news on FEKIR? Nothing major, buddy. We're just hoping beyond hope that it gets done. And like many people, I think that this could be the week if it's going to happen, because, you know, we're in France, putting 2 and 2 together and all that. Wrigley Mix 2,443. That's not far off. That's brilliant. That means we've got about 35 off this stream, which is brilliant. So thank you. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much. Anyone that's taken the time to subscribe means a lot. 35 off a stream is really good, so thank you. El Chapo said, Craig, you're not here to take part, you're here to take over. I'm just here to have a good time, honestly. It's why I tell you guys to fuck all the haters and the trolls, and why I have such a good time taking the piss out of them, because they don't mean a fucking thing to me. Fuck them. Yo, Scooby-Doo, says Scabish. Row, Rocky. Row. That's my bullshit impression of Scooby-Doo. Lots of people as well really happy about the news about Mane possibly signing a new deal, which is it's great news. It's just one good news thing after another with Liverpool Football Club, isn't it? It's just good news after wonderful signing, after a fantastic result, after goal, and it just makes me smile. I absolutely love where Liverpool are at this moment in time. But by anything else in my little bag of tricks here, actually, in my little list of conversations. Oh yes, there is one more thing that I have wrote down. So Virgil van Dijk, I'm sure you guys have seen this as well, has described Liverpool as a big family. at this moment in time, and that it's the perfect place to be, and that the buzz around the football club is absolutely amazing. So to hear Big Verge, a player who could have probably had his pick of clubs, say that Liverpool's like a family, everybody's pulling in the same direction, there's a great feeling around the club. It means that it's not just us fans that feel it, the players know it as well. The players seem to really sense that something special could be on the cards here. And that's all down to one man. That man is Jurgen Norbert Klopp. You absolute fucking legend. I mean, definitely asking Santi, can I be Klopp's son for Christmas? 100%. I have a crush on Velma, says Franken Janken. My son actually loves Scooby-Doo as well, to be fair. And we were over in Orlando last year. There's a Scooby-Doo van and some Scooby-Doo characters in Universal, and he ran straight up to it to get his picture taken. I'm going to try and pronounce this name, but again, please don't take offence if I mispronounce it. It's Abderrahman. Abderrahman is how I'm going to have a go with that one. I'm watching in Dublin, and I don't know if you mean that you're living in Dublin and watching, or if you're going to the game, but either way, brilliant. Always great to meet people who are in and around Dublin, and as I said, we will be letting you guys know how we can meet up before the game a little bit later on in the week, but yeah, I want to meet as many of you guys as possible before the game. No one beats Shaggy though. Steve said, click that. Can't really do it when I'm on a live stream, buddy. I don't want to go away, but fuck it, I'll have a little click. What's to bring up? Oh, I've seen this earlier on. I've seen that's the earlier on. It is quality, yeah. I've seen it earlier on. Oh, he said play it on your phone. I played it on the screen here. I'd seen it earlier on. It is great. Anything on Kovacic, says Tom. No, not that I'd seen. I'd seen that he wanted out of Madrid, alright. But hadn't they put a stupid price tag on him? Like, wasn't it something ridiculous, like 80 million or something like that? Damo said, Craig, can you get the FSGO crowd to switch focus to a Glazers in campaign? Glazers in, Jose in, Fellaini forever, make him club captain. I mean, we should definitely start a GoFundMe campaign for that plane, because I think we'd get more money than the FSG out boys got for the plane over Anfield. That was price. So they get 20 quid or something, I think, for that at one point. What else we got? Frank and Yankin said, I have a tattoo of Shaggy on my arm. Quality. Callum said, unfortunately can't make it over to Dublin for the Napoli game, but going to the Toronto and West game, can't wait for the upcoming season. Class. I mean, getting to go to any sporting event is always class. I'm hoping when I'm over in Orlando in October, actually, they've one more home game in the MLS before the regular season ends, so I'm hoping, I think it's against Columbus Crew if I remember correctly, I'm hoping to get down to that game. So if there's any Reds on that are in and around the Orlando area, or you're watching this back and you're in and around the Orlando area, please do get in contact, because I'd love to know the best way of going about sourcing tickets or to attend the game with some fans of Orlando City. I'd also like to try and do something podcast wise in and around the club, so I may try and get in touch with somebody at Orlando City FC to see if Orlando FC, to see if I can possibly get in there, get some access to something, talk to the media officer, because I'd love to do a podcast on the growth of MLS, and maybe even a little bit of a documentary towards it, because I'm fascinated by what they're trying to do, particularly with Orlando. They're a pretty new, and I hate to use the word franchise, but fairly new franchise, and they've had a good bit of money pumped into them, some Irish money in there as well, I believe. I think Brendan O'Carroll has shares in Orlando City, if memory serves me correct. And yeah, I'd love to attend the game in the new stadium there and see what it's like, see what it's all about. The Glazers should not throw stones in glass houses, says Dave. Junior said, I'm going to Mallorca next week, Craig, but I'll still try and join. Would you believe me, Junior, mate, if I told you I'd been to Mallorca 23 times? Yeah, my dad, I think I've said this before on the stream. My dad loved the sun, but was petrified of flying. So he'd only fly to Santa Ponza because it was like 2 hours, 20 minutes, cheap drink, cheap cigarettes, sun. And yeah, this is pretty much the only place we ever went to on holidays growing up. So been to Mallorca so many times. I think most Irish people have had a little trip to Santa Ponza at some point or another. Charles who lives in a bin said, my brother used to like watching Fred the footballer. No, not Fred, Scooby Doo. And then he joined the Scums and now Fred is dead to my brother. And rightly so. What else have we got? Fred is dead to everybody. I think I've actually caught up with the comments for once, which is class. I was in Alcudia in June, said Dave. I was there once as well. We were right up the very top of the hill in Alcudia. I'm trying to think of the name of the pub that was beside us, attached to the hotel. Was it called the Red Lion? The Red Lion was the name of the pub, right up the top in Alcudia. Which is a really nice part of Mallorca, actually. To be fair, Dave, I really liked Alcudia. But my kids just love Orlando, mate, and this is our 4th year in a row bringing them over there, and we save our asses off, and I mean really save hard all year, because I told you guys before I have a 6-year-old son, Lucas, who has autism, and it's like the highlight of his year. So we work our asses off, save really hard, and try and get the kids over there in October every year. So we have a little countdown clock. I think we've got 70 days to go until we head away. So really looking forward to that one. But a summer holiday is great, isn't it? Just a change of scenery. It can make a big difference to you mentally as well. No matter where you go, even if you stay in Ireland or the UK, just getting a breakaway is good for the soul. Samian said, do you like Roy Keane, Craig? From a Liverpool fan point. Yes, I do. I like him as a footballer. I like that he says what he thinks, and I like that he always wanted the best for Ireland. Does he go over the top at times? Yeah, probably. But all in all, I'd say yeah, I kind of do like Roy Keane. The United lad said, if you need an outsider in the Spanner gang, as much as I like him, I don't think I could have a United fan as a mod on the channel. I'd feel dirty. Maybe we could make you an honorary mod in some way, shape or form at some point, but even the thought of it makes me feel dirty. Damo said, imagine the atmosphere when Jose, Ed Woodward and the Glazers meet up for a lack of performance review. Oh, brilliant. Paul said it was 40 in the shade here in Torrevieja in Spain today. You're not getting sympathy for that one, Paul. I mean, 40 is good. Enjoy it. You don't get sympathy for being too hot. Not from me anyway. It's because I live in Ireland, buddy. We don't get too hot very often. Neil Anthony said, Dave Maddock from the Mirror predicted 2 weeks ago a goalkeeper in the number 10 would sign in 2 weeks' time. So far, he's proved to be right. I think he did post that. I think he posted that before he went off on holidays or something like that, didn't he? Dave said, I don't like flying too far away either. Amador Ed said, Craig, will you be coming to Liverpool when the team do the rounds around the city in the bus when we win the Premier League? Fucking right, I will. You are damn right I'll be over there. We were over there for the semi-final and the quarter-final of the Champions League. I try and get over whenever I can. Like anybody else, it's just a matter of getting tickets. Tickets are the hardest part to come by for Liverpool games. Everything else is easy enough to arrange here from Ireland. The flight over isn't too expensive. Even the worst case scenario, if it's a last minute thing, you can get the boat over. It's long, it's arduous, but it's worth it to see the Reds. But yeah, if I can get tickets, I'll be over there as often as I can get there. Man like Ben said, favourite ever LFC striker, Fowler. He's my favourite ever player, so he's got to be my favourite ever striker. Joseph said, don't do it, Craig. I won't. I can't do it. I can't make a United fan a mod on my channel. On our channel. Sorry, Connor, if you're watching. Yeah, couldn't do it. No, it just wouldn't feel right. Paul Turner said, absolutely right, Craig. Live for my holidays and they're important in life. Orlando and Anaheim are my top destinations. Not really a Disney person, so kind of stay away from any of the Disney parks, but I absolutely love going over, mate. I don't like the travelling part. 10 hours is a long ass time. We do it 2 flights as well. We never fly direct because it's cheaper to fly to. We fly to. This time we're flying to JFK and then we're flying down, but usually we fly into whatchamacallit, Atlanta. Usually we fly into Atlanta and then fly down. Is it Atlanta Hartfield? I think it is. So yeah, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And like you said, I live for a holiday. El Chapo's off to bed. Good night, guys. I'm going to head off as well in about 15 minutes. So a few more minutes on. Again, just to ask you guys in the chat, what are we at with the thumbs up and the subs? If you are watching, again, thank you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. My cousin lives in Bettystown, said Junior. Which is a really nice part of Ireland as well, particularly in the summer. We're right beside where Mosney used to be. The child who lives in their bin said, from an international side of things, do you think Pogba is a good player? I really do. I just think he's been mismanaged by Mourinho at United, but yeah, I do. I think he has the potential to be well, look, it's not even potential. He is a very good footballer. Wrigley Mick is saying good night, and good night to you, Mick. Thank you for joining in again. United lads is heading off. Good night, mate. And as always, it's been a pleasure chatting, and thank you for joining in. 152 up, said Kieran R. Thank you very much, Kieran, for letting me know about that one. Bettystown Junior, a blast from the past. Yeah, we have Mosney, the memories in Mosney as an Irish person. Swimming up to the wall, to the glass wall into the bar and putting your arse up against the wall in the swimming pool under the water so people in the bar could see. Yeah, Mosney, a very, very Irish thing. So Carl Abbott said, what would you prefer? To win the Premier League but you can never go on holidays again, or free holidays and pool to win nothing for 20 years? I'd probably say win the Premier League and have no holiday for 20 years. And here's why, Carl. My plan is to emigrate to America anyway. So obviously work opportunities and making sure we can take care of Lucas over there is top of our list. But the plan is to move to America in the next 18 months to 2 years, hopefully all going well. So if that's the case, then I'd be in a warmer climate anyway. So I definitely take no holidays and winning the league. Samian said, Craig, would you rather have Naby Keita or Nabil Fekir and Vida? Naby Keita, hands down, without even having to think about it. Vida can fuck off, you know my opinion on Vida. I think, what was he described as, the equine haired defender. Don't rate him at all. So it's just basically then a straight question between Fekir or Keita, and Naby Keita for me is going to be a superstar. An absolute superstar. Junior said I used to go to Fantasia all the time. I've actually never been there. Myself and the missus have spoke about going out to. There's 2 different parts of it. I think there's a water park in Fantasia and like I don't want to say a theme park because I don't think it's a theme park, but like a massive arcade. But never been. Wasim said the latest rumour is Besiktas want Origi on loan, and I think I mentioned that earlier on. I think I did. I think I said about Kamoli looking at a loan from, but it doesn't make any sense because he's only got 1 year left on his contract, so we're basically just giving him away then. So I'd be amazed if we loaned him out. Kieran said Nabil Fekir is more likely to sign a Leon contract extension than leave the club this summer. I think I mentioned that at the very start of the stream. Was it like RMC Sport or something like that? One of their journals came out and said that. But again, you don't know. It's all just hearsay, buddy, at this moment in time. Much like us saying, I think he'll sign. It's not really based on anything. Although, look, they probably have better contacts and know more about the situation than us. Dave is saying, good night, lads. Thanks for the positive chat. Dave, mate, always a pleasure. Have a good night, and no doubt we will talk to you soon. think a few people now are talking about that FEKIR to sign a new contract stuff. Oh, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it, guys. I really don't. He's gone too far along the line to suddenly swear allegiance and go back. But never say never. He is Leon Boy, so I mean, if it's going to be easier for anybody, it's going to be for somebody who's, you know, a true and true Leon person. So I hope he doesn't, though. Of course, I fucking hope he signs for Liverpool. Steve saying, nah, it's bullshit. Thanks, Steve. I'm with you on that one. Let's just say poo-poo to everything. Unless someone says, even if the shittiest horse in the world now said he's signing for Liverpool, I'd be like, oh, yeah, definitely. All over that. Carl said, Keita is a beast of a man. He reminds me of a mixture of Roy Keane and Stevie G. Yeah, he is. I mean, did you see some of the pressing in the pre-season? High up the field? Ooh, he wasn't giving people a second on the ball. And that wasn't even him in full flow. So can you imagine what he's going to be like in a game that actually matters? Oh, I think we're in for a treat watching Naby Keita. I think that was one of the best signings Klopp's ever going to make. And the way we did it as well. The way Michael Edwards got that deal done a year in advance was absolutely brilliant. Frankie B said, what part of America do you plan to move to, Craig? It's a straight shootout, Frankie, mate, between the Orlando area of Florida and probably the Austin area of Texas. So it'll be one of those two. Again, it depends on work possibilities. I had a tentative approach before about working with somebody from sports radio in America. I didn't obviously go any further with it, but that is the area where I'd probably love to go. And look, when I say sports radio, I'm not talking about fucking national sports radio or anything. I'm talking about enough to pay the bills. A local sports radio station. So that's the dream. This is never going away anyway. Wherever I am in the world, Anfield Agenda is staying where it is. But obviously you've got to pay bills and stuff, so Austin or Orlando, one or the other. I say Orlando, but I really don't need to limit myself to just that part of it, just that part of Florida. And by the way, if anybody's out there that does own a radio station or is looking for a bald Irish egg to come on and talk shite about football, then I'm probably the 5th person on your list. Junior said, I'm going to Orlando next year. I can't wait. You'll love it, mate. You will absolutely love it. You'll have a ball. It's brilliant. It's absolute fucking quality. I love it. I'm getting excited now just talking about it. We rent a house over there, actually. We used to stay in a hotel on International Drive, but as the kids got older, we kind of started to need more space. Particularly with Lucas, of course. Lucas has so much energy that he needs to run around all the time. So we now rent a house over there with a private pool and stuff, and we hire a car, and it's brilliant. It's just a really lovely time. But you need a holiday when you come back from the holiday, because you're spending all your days just walking around theme parks, and it's usually, you know, full on go. But it's an amazing experience, Junior, mate. You'll love it. Williams1666 says, Craig, how you doing, mate? I'm very good, thank you, William. I'm getting a little bit tired. My voice is a little bit strained, but I'll go probably for another 10 minutes and then head off. But thank you for asking, buddy. Rod, you've made it on, buddy, before we headed off. Good morning to you, sir. The alarm has gone off, Rod. No more alarm. You don't have to worry about alarms anymore. My wife has finally seen sense and got rid of the fucking watch. So no more alarms to worry about. But brilliant to see you, Rod, mate. I hope you're well. And I did get your message actually the other day to say that you were sleeping in, and there's nothing wrong with having a kip in, buddy. You deserve it, I'm sure. Joseph said, will you buy a gun, Craig? No, never. 100% never. And not because of anything against the rights of guns, just because I'm too fucking hot-headed, and the last thing I need in my house is a gun, ever. So 100% no, never buy a gun. Louis like, I don't know, FEKIR news is kind of confusing. The whole thing is, but that's part of the beauty of it, Louis, isn't it? Part of the beauty of the whole silly season is the madness and not knowing what's going on. Johnny Longleg said Jared handed in a transfer request in the summer of 2005 and ended up signing a new deal. He did, yeah, but he wasn't pictured in a Chelsea shirt after doing a medical and an interview for the club's channel. It didn't quite get that far, but yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. There's always a way back. But if your heart is really set on that move, and Gerrard had doubts, it was him who pulled the plug. I don't think in this scenario it's going to be FEKIR that pulls the plug. I think it's just going to be a lack of a deal being done, or a lack of Liverpool actually believing that his knee will hold up, that might stop the deal. Chelsea still wanted Gerrard. It was him that pulled out of it because, you know, him being born and bred, his heart just wasn't in the move. What else have we got? Is it Liverpool restaurants or chip bands that FEKIR is following? That's class. King S says, hello lads from Northern Ireland, and hello to you, sir. Welcome. Thank you for joining in the stream. I love Northern Ireland as well, by the way. I'm always talking about how my wife and I love to go up to Belfast. Rod said, can we see a picture of the alarm, or is it being destroyed? I'm actually working on that, Rod. I'm working on my wife to see if she'll let me make a video of me destroying it, and I'm not even joking. I've asked her, can I film me smashing the watch, and I'll get her another one. I might have her talked around, so wait and see. Hopefully I'll be able to make a video of me smashing that motherfucking watch. I might even put Simon Mignolet's face on it before I smash it, which would be like double pleasure. Man like Ben said, unpopular opinion, but does anybody feel like Markovic hasn't been given a proper chance at LFC? I reckon he could be a good squad player. Maybe I'm being too optimistic. I think he has had his chance, personally. From what I gather, he's not the greatest trainer, but he doesn't seem to have impressed any manager. Maybe it's just a case of the wrong league for him, but he, again, even on loan, he hasn't done great, so probably best to move him on and let him try and rebuild his career, because he had a very promising start to his career, so maybe a move to Spain or Portugal or somewhere might suit him a little bit more. Louis said, Craig, didn't he reject a new contract and now apparently he's ready to sign one? What bullshit. Oh, Sean, good evening, buddy. Great to see you again. Sean said, good evening, Craig and the Mighty Reds. I'm on radio, mate, so we'll have to chat. Sean, mate, that would be my dream. Absolutely. I did work when I was younger on a pirate radio station as a kid, in my DJ days back a long time ago when I had hair. But it is absolutely my dream, Sean, so I would love to chat anytime. You know the email address, AnfieldAgenda@outlook.com, but if you want to message me on here, message me on the Twitter account anytime, Sean. It is my absolute dream. Absolute dream. I can promise you, I'm not even expensive. Only joking, but sincerely, Sean, if you ever do want to have a chat about that, rant never pops up, by all means, buddy. Even if it's just for some advice, I'd very much appreciate your insight. Joseph Reardon says, hate to say it, but you're right. I named my first son after him, but he was some player. Do you know what? I named my son after Lucas Leiva, and I get so much abuse for that at times from people. But yeah, I said before, I have a massive admiration for Lucas Leiva, for what he went through at the club, for the way he conducted himself, for the way he always tried to better himself. And I think I've told you guys before as well, before he left, I made sure I got a signed shirt for my son, so it's in the wardrobe for when he grows up, so he knows who he was named after and that he has that little memento. Samian said, Craig, how would you feel if Firmino plays against Napoli and gets injured so bad he's out for the whole season? Of course I'd be fucking heartbroken, but I'd be horrendous if that happened. But Bobby's bulletproof. Nobody's putting Bobby out for an entire season because he's Bobby. But yeah, that would be horrible. Nobody wants that to happen. Jesus Christ, that would be heartbreaking. God, I'm getting upset now just even thinking about that. Don't say that, Sammy, and be positive. That's who it was. Steve's just saying there now. Robert Pires, that was the Arsenal player I was talking about earlier on, said the FEKIR would be a great signing. And he said slowly they're coming out, keeping it relevant in the news. The Echo are talking about him on a daily basis. But just going back to Sean, mate, apart from anything else, great to see you in the chat again. Yeah, it's always a pleasure, buddy. And any news on the website, says Rod. Yes, it is there in the back burner working. Connor's on holidays at the minute, Rod, but it's purchased. We've already owned the domain name, but the website package is purchased. It's being built as we speak. AnfieldAgenda.com will be live. Everything going well for the start of the new season. As I said, with the member section and all the other bits and pieces, but it is definitely there. It has been funded, thankfully. We've managed to cover the cost on it now with the amazing donations we've had from people who want to keep us doing what we're doing and help us move on. So it's in the path. It'll be here for the start of the new season. And look, I know I'm putting Connor under big pressure by saying that, but you got to keep him on his toes, don't you? He's having a holiday now, but once he's back on Friday, the whip will be cracked again, and no doubt he'll be back on it. But look, as I said earlier on, if anybody does want to help us push along or does want to buy Connor or me a pint, you can do so at either Patreon, PayPal or Ko-fi, and I have the links in the chat there now, and there they go. So they're in there now if anybody wants to. But of course, there is never any pressure. But no matter whatever you do tonight, if you're watching the stream, make sure to enter a competition to win one of 5 Liverpool home shirts. I know you guys are probably sick of me saying it by now, but genuinely, there's 5 of them there. We'll post them anywhere in the world. Don't you worry about that. If you're thinking, fuck, I'm in Australia, I can't enter, you can. It's open to absolutely everybody. Make sure you enter. It's in the stream notes. It's on our Twitter account at Anfield Agenda. Look on there, look on the pin tweet, all the info is there. You can win one of 5 Liverpool home shirts with thanks to our friends at soccerlord.se. And as I mentioned earlier on, jump onto the Soccerlord website. If you see anything you fancy buying, we have a 10% discount code for you. It's AAMC, Alpha Alpha Mike Charlie. That gets you 10% off anything on the Soccerlord site. Ben said, you're probably right, but Markovic has talent. Also heard he's a bit of an attitude problem. I honestly don't know that. You've heard that about a few people over the years. We heard Sturridge had an attitude problem and he clearly doesn't. So sometimes it's just gossip, isn't it? And it may well be gossip what I said earlier on about him being a poor trainer. I may have heard that and it might be complete bullshit. Sean saying, good evening guys, and how are you, Paul? A lot of people as well saying hello to Sean, which is great. I love the way you guys interact with each other and look out for each other on here. It's part of the reason I love this whole thing. There's a real community forming here of Reds, and that means as much to me as anything else. Honestly, it's great. I love when people are heading off as well. There's like 20 people in the chat saying, good night buddy, talk to you tomorrow, see you soon. Paul said we're at 157 likes, which is excellent. So thank you to everyone that's taken the time to give us a thumbs up, and as well thank you to everyone that's taken the time to subscribe to the channel. You're an absolute legend. Rod, oh yeah, Rod, you did, and Sean as well, you did miss out. Gark Mulbridge popped in earlier onto the chat on the United Stand account and was talking. I thought it was a fake account, so I was laughing away, but it was really him. He did pop in to say hello, and Connor's raging that he missed having a little chat with Gark. He even complimented the growth of the channel actually, which was strange, which was nice of him. To be fair, look, we're always respectful when we're treated with respect. He's still Mammy's special little soldier, but it was nice of him to speak the way he did, so we'll give him credit in that sense. The Raptor said, Damo, really? I hope he was the subject of streams of abuse. Connor said, got to keep me on my toes. You do. You got to. I mean, you keep me on my toes, buddy. So I got to keep you on your toes as well. You can't just bully me. I have to be able to bully back. It's part of why this works, buddy, isn't it? Breaking. FEKIR started following Stoke City. FEKIR started following Chinese restaurants in Blackburn. Man like Ben said, I hate that I love Sturridge so much. He breaks my heart every season. You're not the only one, Ben, mate. We all love Studge. What isn't to love about Daniel Sturridge? If it wasn't for his injuries, You know, he'd be untouchable. He'd be an absolute legend. And if he's fit, he like you, he wins us all over every pre-season, and we just feel, you know, not let down or hurt, but a little bit sadder when he picks up an injury. Daniel said, are you going to the game at the weekend? I certainly are, buddy. No, I'm going to try that one again, and I'm actually going to try and answer with a coherent sentence this time. I am, Daniel, I certainly am. Myself and Connor have a couple of media passes to the game, so we will definitely be there. We'll be in the media section. We'll be able to attend the press conference after the game, so hopefully I'll get that recorded for you guys, and we will be able to share the audio with you. Hopefully we'll get some pictures in and around it, and as we said before, we want to meet up with as many of you guys as possible. So if you're going to the game, we'll meet up a little bit later on in the week in the chat here, and we'll tell you guys exactly where we're going to be. So if anyone's there, brilliant, we'd love to shake your hand, say hello, and of course thank you for your support of the channel. Guys, I am going to call it a night because my voice is starting to give up on me. But look, as always, thank you so much. Sean, mate, get in touch if you want to. I'd love to have a chat with you. The rest of you guys, thank you so much. Thank you to everybody that's subscribed. If you're watching and you haven't yet done so, there's still time. Hit that subscribe button. To everyone that's given us a thumbs up tonight, thank you. It means a lot to us. To you legends that watch every night, that tune in, that comment on the chat, we love you. Thank you so much for your support. To the amazing people that have helped us financially to keep the channel going, thank you. It means a lot to us, and we do promise that every penny we get will be reinvested into the channel. But as always, you guys know how I end the streams every single night with the same way. Up the motherfucking Reds.